Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Great to be with you. Thanks for tuning to it. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online. ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free always. Don't miss anything. Sometimes you miss things. And that helps when you say, can I find it? Can I get caught up? Is there a way to get back? There is. Go to ESPNTallahassee.com and find it, or go to iTunes and find it as soon as the show ends. Email us if you want, jcs979espnradio.com. On Twitter, it's at J Cameron Show. Hello, YouTubers. Good to see you. Hope you're well. Hello, Periscopers. Hope you're well. All right. Willie Taggart going to join us on the program tomorrow. Look forward to that. We'll talk to the head coach about the spring game as how it is nearly upon us. And all right. Maybe we see something. Maybe we're surprised. I think it would be a surprise. I think we would be absolutely shocked to walk out of Doak Campbell Stadium right after Hammer performs his final song, and as we reflect on the day that was and say, hey, I feel better. I think they're going to be good. Like that would be the surprise, right?
Is that possible?
Oh, you could get caught up in the revelry. You could get in there and they could light it up, Tom, and listen, a big touchdown pass, a long touchdown pass, a beautifully thrown ball from James Blackman, and he does throw a great deep ball. Him throwing that to Tamorrion Terry, him going up making a play. You see a couple of those things. Yeah, you could be stirred just a little bit about what might be possible. Do I think you would be carried away to the point that you think, 10 wins? No, that's unreasonable. I wonder, they would never say this, and certainly I don't think Willie Taggart would say this, and I'm not going to ask him tomorrow about this, but I will ask him about his expectations about Saturday and where his team has come from to where they are now. But I wonder, if you're a player or a coach and you're invested, you've put in the blood, sweat, and tears, you've put in the emotional and physical efforts, you tend to then enter the arena, if you will, under the guise of I'm going to win. I didn't do all that to go lose games. So it's awfully hard to come up with a realistic projection on what's possible coming off a 5-7 season if you ask a player or if you ask a coach, because their answer, frankly, ought to be that you can win 12 games. I mean, I never played a game, even when I knew the reality of the situation, and I certainly didn't play at this level, Florida State, but I never entered into a game. Let's say I was on a bad soccer team when I was 10, or I was on a bad Little League baseball team.
Well, early in high school, didn't you lose a lot of games?
Oh, yeah. Well, my junior season, we went 2-8. Yeah, we were terrible. Went 10-0 my senior season. And you know what's crazy about that was we entered the senior season after going 2-8, and I guarantee you we thought we were going to win all the games. It's just what you do. I mean, nobody wants to believe that their effort is for naught. That it's not that ultimately you're not going to achieve your goals. So you put in the time, you put in the like I said, the equity you build with your teammates and all of that. You better all believe you're going to win. So I guess the point would be this: they probably feel real good about themselves, even if they know that everybody else doesn't. Even if they, and I don't know what they would, what they truly believe. I mean, I know. Let's look at it this way: when you are on a bad team. And if you grew up playing sports, at some point you were probably on a bad team. Little League baseball, junior football, whatever. You probably were on a bad team at some point. You could objectively, when you weren't competing, note that your team wasn't very good. The results speak for themselves. We're in last. That team that we lost to last week by 30 is in first place, and we play them in 2 weeks again. That's going to be a toughie. But when that game started, you thought you were going to win that game. Until they beat it out of you. And then you went back to we suck. But in the moment, you believed it. So I bet they all think that they are going to right the wrongs. They're all thinking this is step one towards proving everybody wrong, to getting back to where they should rightfully be, that they think that they are capable of winning whatever, almost every game they play. How much of that can be gleaned from a spring game? Well, that's the hard part for all of us, the more realistic from the outside looking in, who recognize, you're not Clemson. You're not name 7, 8 teams that you want to name, or 20 for that matter, and that's the hard part. But what would you be looking for? What is it you do want to see? What would send a positive message to you? What would have you walking out of that stadium feeling better about the football program? Because surely that's what you're hoping happens. I mean, nobody's going in there and in the hopes that what they witness is something that is only going to prolong the agony. No, you're hoping for a sign that things are better.
I think for me, if I could find solace in individual performances, but let's just say a team, a side dominates the other side. First of all, I'd say the offense does it, which is less likely, of course. Mm-hmm. If the offense has a good day, first team offense, or at least the offense that's run by James Blackman, I'd say, okay, do they script it this way? That'll be my first question. Are we bad on defense would be my second question. I think that's the thing that when you go 5-7, and you hear last year in fall camp that Brian Burns is unblockable, and you realize why he's unblockable, round and round we go. You're just never going to be satisfied. You're going to ask the question, well, okay, we did this good on offense. Must mean we're bad on defense. Well, the defense was awesome in this regard. It's probably because we're not very good on offense. I think that's just kind of where we are. But individually speaking, if Cam Akers finishes a run, or maybe 3 or 4, and you go, okay, he's starting to finish runs again. He's got that that confidence in his step. If LeBourne plays in this game and he's got the wiggle that he had on the one play we got to see him against Virginia Tech, you'd say, well, that's great. He's healing and he's going to be a weapon for us. If you see linebacker play that looks much better, worlds different than it did last year, you can take that home. If Dent plays really well in the secondary, I mean, individual performances could have you, I think, genuinely excited about individuals going into the season. But I don't think there's a team performance or a side of the football. I don't think you can do anything to change the way people feel until we actually play real games.
Yeah, I asked the question because I read an article today. My cohort on SiriusXM, Barrett Salih, who I work with sometimes, and he also writes for CBS Sports, wrote a piece today. I don't know if you've seen this. It's called Willie Taggart Facing Extreme Pressure Heading into Critical 2019 Season at Florida State. That's the headline, right? And then it talks about, 36 years. It talks about the season being an unmitigated disaster. It talks about the need to clean up performance. And then it gets into whether or not if Willie were to have a bad year, he could be fired after just 2 years. Like, the angle of the article is, it's not so far-fetched to say that if things don't look markedly improved this year on the football field, he could get fired. And one of the things that he brings up is that, the people in charge of the money would have a big decision to make. He has a 6-year, $30 million contract, but that's not that big compared to other contracts in big-time college football, which Florida State certainly desires to play. His buyout figure would be 85% of the remainder of the amount due if things didn't pan out. So that's $17 million. They'd have to pay him $17 million to get the hell out of here if they don't play well this year. And I just thought, wow, that's interesting. We're at that point. These articles, this won't be the first. This will be one of many that is penned exactly this way. But at the tail end of the piece, and he notes that is that pricey? Sure. Is it irresponsible to fire a guy and pay him $17 million? Not in today's day and age. That's nothing. You're not giving him $40 million. You're giving him $17. Yes. Now, our financial situation is such that maybe that wouldn't fly. I also don't think, unless, again, abject failure, no question, guys still can't get lined up.
Quit.
Sub 500, quit. Okay, barring that, I think it would be irresponsible to fire him. That's not the topic of the show today. I just am noting that in response to this article.
It's out there, yeah.
It is out there. It's something to note as we go into the spring football weekend. Those are the kinds of national columns being written about this program and about Willie Taggart. That also doesn't shock anybody, right, after what we saw a year ago. On to the question about what it would take or whether or not it's irresponsible. I think it's irresponsible if, in fact, they are showing signs of improving, that you don't give a guy 3 years. You got to give a coach 3 years. You got to give him, unless people have completely quit, like you noted, or, again, you prove to be incompetent.
100% you have to give him at least 3 years.
Absolutely.
It's not like he rolled into a 29 straight victories
That is also noted
situation
in the
here.
column, though. That is important. It is also noted that he rolled into an ugly situation that many people overlooked because Jimbo had the cachet of a national title, and it wasn't all that far ago. So you kind of ignored some obvious signs that things were falling to pieces on the field. You know, obviously, when a team gets beat and gives up over 60 points and quits, you would point to that team and go, "Oh, they got problems in the locker room. They got problems with their coaching staff." But that really didn't happen nationally because Jimbo had won that national title. But it is a reality of the situation that Willie walked into.
Yeah, you're going to impeach a president after 2 years because the economy is terrible? You know, it's still bad? No. You're going to reelect him in 2 years just because the economy is good? No. I mean, there's a trail-off effect. This is the problem Willie has is we were already tired of the situation before he got in to Florida State.
It had grown stagnant.
It was stagnant, but then it was downright embarrassing by the time he walked into here. So we already had rabbit ears. And then here he is. He comes in his first year, and we don't get any better. Really, in any facet of the game. I thought the one thing that we could have gotten better at this season was special teams. And somehow things ended up worse.
No, it didn't happen. You're right. No, it wasn't that they lost. It was the way they lost.
So we're already mad before he walks in. Now we're even more mad. But, I mean, 3 years is not – I mean, you got to at least have 3 freaking years short of, like, scandal-level stuff. You have to have at least 3 years to install the way. I mean, you got to unprogram and reprogram.
Yeah, you got to deprogram, you got to reprogram, you got to flip the locker room, you got to get your kids in here to run your system. You got to do a lot of things. Yeah, that's always been the standard. It used to be you got 4 or 5 years. Obviously, that got whittled down over time with the money being what it is. But, yeah, you used to always get a bare minimum of that.
One of the huge questions last year, beyond the offensive line being terrible, was, all right, if it's lethal and it's simple, is there still an unlearning process that goes on? And we didn't know, because if you simplify things, one would think maybe it's easier to plug and play, which clearly Willie did. He thought that was the case. That's not the way it works. I mean, you look at how many issues we had because we simply couldn't understand the offense. Hopefully this year it's being communicated better, but then also for Briles, he's not walking into a pro-style system that he's flipping over to this new offense. Right. So in the same way, you gotta give Willie a little bit of credit, because the first year, as bad as that offense was, it's still the same line of thinking that Briles is coaching day to day. So this should be an easier transition for the offense, because even though the terminology may change, the concepts have been constant
are still the same
for 2 years.
And by rights, Kendall Briles does feel like that's happening, that they are on pace, that they are moving in the right direction, that this has been a successful first part of the install. All of that is important. I say all that to say this. The summary was basically, we'll find out, quote, I'm quoting from the article, we'll find out Saturday if it looks like things could be changing for the Noles. And I don't know that that's true. That's what I was saying. What are we going to find out on Saturday when we go to a spring game? What are you going to see that tells you things are better for the Noles? I don't know if that's possible. I don't know. And even if it were, I'm not sure people would believe what they were seeing, because it is a spring game and you can set those things up to play any way you want them to play.
So I said my first question would be, did they script that? The players don't know that, but the coaches can.
Well, you can certainly have certain personnel in certain situations. You can set up a play to succeed. You can set up
setting up a downfield coverage that, the primary read, wouldn't you know it?
Yeah.
The primary read is this play's weakness or this coverage's weakness.
Well, you can certainly do that. I don't know that they will. I'm saying
we're going to ask those questions to ourselves.
Like, fans aren't going to walk out of there going, okay, all right.
It's all fixed.
Much better.
Everything's better.
Yeah, there are real signs that things are changing for the better. Nope. Nothing that you see Saturday is going to tell you that. And I think that's exactly what explains the policy towards the media so far during the spring, which isn't combative. It's just sort of non-interactive. It's just all right, we'll tell you what happened today at practice as we see fit, and see you tomorrow. We'll do it again. And you don't know if that's accurate or not, and we don't really care. And because we know that no matter what, it's not going to make a difference.
Yeah.
Until we win games.
It doesn't matter at all.
It doesn't matter at all. And we know that. And we're letting you know that we know that by virtue of our policy.
Yeah, if you think the coverage is going to promote the product, I don't know that there's anything we can do short of maybe having a better act for the post-game concert to bring people to the stadium.
They're guessing around 30,000.
If that's what they're guessing.
Well, they've sold considerably less than that, but the walk-up crowd with the musical acts. They think they can get around 30,000.
Might be a late arriving crowd to see the concerts. So maybe the fourth quarter will be the most crowded quarter. It usually works the other way.
30,000. I read that today. I went, really? You think you're going to get 30,000? No matter what. See, another sign of you're setting yourself up to be profoundly disappointed. They had over 60,000 there last year. It was a sight I'd never seen before for a Florida State spring game.
I think they'll get at least 4,000 people probably in the club. So, I mean, if you're, including those plus the skyboxes.
I may be hanging in the club. Tom, you want to come hang in the Tom Lang Memorial? Want to go hang up there?
I should have a lifetime pass, but I don't.
No, either do I, but we both should. But you want to go? Let's go hang out.
I'll see if I can walk into the Lang Memorial Champions Club, and if they stop me, say I need a ticket, then I'm just going to leave.
Nah, you walk in with me. You'll be all right. I'll say, this is my friend. We're going to the Tom Lang Memorial.
He's on that plaque.
Yeah,
don't you see it? That's
picture
him.
of him right there. We're headed in. Here we go. That's his ticket. That beautiful bronze statue right over there.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Right across from Planet Fitness. Call for a convenient service appointment at 850-284-5907.
What's up, Eddie?
What's up, Jeff?
You know, buddy, that I like archaeology, right?
Yeah. I'm quite an anarchist myself.
Right. Well, anyhow, do you know what they find the world over when they excavate? You know the item they find the most of?
I don't know, rocks?
Freaking bowls.
Bowls?
Bowls everywhere. In Rome proper, right? Bowls upon bowls upon bowls.
That's very interesting.
What's the high school over in Jacksonville, the one with all the good football players?
Bowls?
Right.
What are you getting at here, Jeff?
Mo used what to cut his hair?
I don't know, Jeff. What is a bowl?
Boom. A bowl indeed.
Hey, that gives me an idea.
Really?
We should have bowls here at Gordo's. We can do all kinds of bowls. We can do chicken bowls, fish bowls. We can do steak bowls, pork bowls, veggie bowls. Brilliant. I'm a genius. Jeff? Hey, Jeff.
I can't believe I got into another fender bender. My poor truck.
Lisa's Pain Body, can I help you?
Hey, Lisa, this is Jimmy Bone. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Well, I got into a little bit of an accident. Bent my front fender and cruising past your place, and it doesn't look like you're open.
Jimmy, I am leaving here, and I am going to be closed down for a week until April 8th. I'll be at my new location on Mahan Drive.
Lisa's Paint and Body is getting a brand new location.
Yes, sir.
Well, you guys have helped me out in the past and did a great job, and I can't imagine, but your new place is going to be even better.
It's going to be great. Twice the size, all new equipment, very nice.
Okay, what's your location?
2820 Mahan Drive.
And you're reopening on April 8th.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll be in there with some scratched up paint and a bent fender.
I look forward to seeing you.
Lisa's Paint and Body, now with a new location starting April 8th.
MV46050.
Jerry's Famous Cigar Shop is proud to support those who serve us daily. As a way of saying thank you, Jerry's is launching a new discount program for active and retired law enforcement, first responders, and military. Stop by and pick up your free discount card today at either of Jerry's 2 locations, one on Scherer Road or their new location on Cary Forest Parkway. Jerry's Famous Cigar Shop, online at jerrycigarshop.com.
Yuengling Golden Pilsner, a highly sessionable beer, golden in both name and color. Yuengling Golden Pilsner is the perfect balance of hop and malt character for crisp and smooth thirst-quenching refreshment. Cheer for your garnet and gold with Yuengling Golden Pilsner. Yuengling, brewing good times for 190 years. Must be 21 or older. Please drink responsibly. A message from local beverage distributor Triangle Sales.
Let's think about customization presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Liberty Mutual customizes your auto insurance so you only pay for what you need. So why can't more things in life be customizable? Why can't I buy Neapolitan ice cream without strawberry? Can't I just have the chocolate and vanilla flavors I'm comfortable with? Do people even want a fruity ice cream flavor sandwiched right between the classics?
Go to libertymutual.com for a customized quote and you could save.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Equal housing insurer.
Hey, I'm Jeff Doxey, Realtor for Capital Property Consultants, representing Premier Fine Homes. If you're thinking of owning your own brand new Premier home, call or text me at 850-545-4747 or email me, jeffdoxey1@gmail.com. You say where, I'll be there. Your Canopy Connection.
Hendrick.
Find new roads at the first annual Dale Earnhardt Jr. Race to 500. Shop our huge selection and get the biggest savings of the year. Everyone wins. Visit either of our 2 Tallahassee locations or DaleEarnhardtJr.Chevy.com.
Chuck Oliver here, and Tallahassee, let's talk college football in the South. Join me every weekday at 1 p.m. right here for wall-to-wall coverage of every big program in the region. Whether it's the ACC or SEC, college football is always on our minds. The conversation happens right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio, Tallahassee Sports Monster.
The Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. Big store pricing with local service. Online at ctf.nu.
Tampa Theater many moons ago, Tom Lang. What an enjoyable show this was.
The Tampa Theater is a great venue,
Yes,
too.
it is. And it was intimate as it is to see these guys. Fishbone's fun. That's a good memory.
I saw Shakespeare at the Tampa Theater years and years ago.
Yeah, well, it's not Fishbone.
In its own way, just as enjoyable.
Yes, I believe. Oh, man. All right. That's JCS at 979ESPNradio.com for your angry Mike Martin emails.
They're still coming in?
There's one a day. There's a minimum one a day. I just keep typing back, he's leaving. Won't be here next year. Send.
My guess is you may picked up a couple of trolls because you've told people that, you're annoyed by the fact that people don't seem to understand.
I'm not annoyed. I just find it fascinating. It doesn't affect me. I mean, it takes me a millisecond to read that and write back, he's leaving. But they're annoyed. They're legitimate. If you read the crux of these emails, they're lengthy usually. Somebody took some time to lay out all of their grievances, man. They've got real issues with a myriad of things. I'm like, dude, he's leaving.
The thing I love about the radio caller or emailer or tweeter, I guess at this point, is they don't really care that the message or the call or whatever, most of them
gets heard.
They just want to run through it, man. They just want to vent to the screener or to the email account. And I respect that because sometimes you just need to jot it down so you get it out of your system.
When was the last time you did that?
Actually wrote something that...
Sat down and wrote it out because you felt you needed to vent and you really didn't care if anybody heard it, saw it, acknowledged it?
Honestly, probably about 6 weeks, 2 months ago.
Yeah, because not a lot of times are you going to do that. It takes a lot to compel you. Certainly not a sporting event. It would take a lot to compel you.
It was like 527 words. I can remember.
Did you do it as an exercise to refresh the muscle? Did you do it because you used to write a lot and now you write business-oriented things as opposed to expressionist?
I did it because I knew if I did, then it would be over and done with. Like my whatever frustration I had. It was not a sports thing. It was not sports related.
Of course it wasn't because it's sports.
Right, yeah. But I knew, kind of like when I put something in my book, right? I put it in the book. I don't have to worry about it anymore because it's in the book.
You and your book.
Well, the same thing with this. I just had so much. There was 3 or 4 things that were stressful at the same time. So I said, you know what? Just write it all out. And then that way, the stress is gone. And if you need to take anything from this multi-paragraph thing, then write it down. Like actually on paper.
Yesterday, my favorite coach in all of sports, Gino Auriemma, that's sarcastic. I loathe him, spoke out about coaches and the predicament they find themselves in on the heels of the Tom Izzo controversy, mild as it was. By the way, by all means, everybody get offended as much as humanly possible. Also, I don't believe in truth that anybody was. I don't think anybody cared about the Tom Izzo situation. I don't believe there. I don't think maybe 5 people in America saw that when it happened and went, man, now that is ridiculous. They ought to reprimand Tom Izzo. No, in reality, I don't think that happened.
It might be a hangover effect that they were looking for something based upon last year's controversies way back in January of 2018. Remember when he was? You were wondering if he was going to get fired or not.
He was going to get caught up in.
Remember
that
how
situation.
beleaguered he looked? He looked like he was on death's door.
Well, I think he thought he was going to get fired.
Yeah.
And I think there was a chance he was going to be.
So maybe that was it. That somebody's just waiting for a chance to pounce.
But what I mean is, I think that
it wasn't about what actually took place on the court.
Well, and we can get into a much more involved discussion of these types of things and what social media promotes. But the truth of it is, Tom, I don't think that people are as easily offended as people on social media seem to think they are, or in the media in general seem to think they are. So I think when you hear, like, let's say a sentence begins, whether it's a host of a TV show or the writer of a column, this week so-and-so did this, controversy, and then whatever code words you want to use that mixed in that opening paragraph, right? People spoke out on social media, took issue with so-and-so. I don't think they did. Most of the time, I'm like, no, they didn't. About 50 people in an echo chamber did, and then they argued amongst each other.
But they got the validation of the like. And so they're going to keep on doing it.
Yeah, but by and large, it's like you go into the household of the average American watching the NCAA tournament, nobody was upset. Nobody thought he crossed the line. Nobody was upset. Everybody just went,
man, he's pissed.
He's pissed off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's sports, man. Brings out emotion. It's not your office place. It's not your workplace. No, in this workplace, you couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. There's a chance you'd be fired because that isn't part of the agreed upon norm of this particular workplace, this type of a business. It is in sports. It is understood that it is part and parcel to sports, to motivation, any number of things, discipline. Now, could you say, I don't like that way of going about disciplining players, motivating players? Could you decide to express yourself if you were asked, hey, what do you think of that? And might you say, well, I really don't like it when adults lose control of themselves. It's not a real good look. If you're trying to instill in a kid that they need to remain calm and focused in the middle of a highly energized situation, how are you able to do that if you yourself can't keep it under control? You might say that, and then we could have a big discussion about that, and I'd agree on some areas and not others. But are you offended? Are you pissed? Are you angry? No, you're not. No.
I think the macro discussion I'd like to have, and maybe another day, the definition of kids and adults.
Oh, yeah.
At what point, are they 24, 25? Is it a fourth-year senior, a fifth-year senior? At what point is it adult speaking to adult versus when a 60-year-old coach is talking to a 20-something-year-old?
But even if you want to say that, let's say it's a 57-year-old football coach yelling at a 28-year-old quarterback. Sports, it's very unique in that realm. It's really the only area where you can see those kinds of interactions that would be considered absurd in any other workplace. But it's understood that is a norm within a high-intensity sport like football. Or basketball.
Well, and I get it as we get older. So I'm in my 30s now, and so if I see somebody's 25, I'm like, yeah, he's a nice kid. Whereas, if I'm 22, I'm like, well, that's a good guy.
Yeah.
If he's 25.
Sure.
So I get the sliding scale always kicks in, but at what point do we start to entertain the notion that we are two adults having a conversation here? Is it when the kid actually gets a paycheck? And then he could be 19 and drawing a paycheck from the NBA. At that point, are you not allowed to dress him down?
Oh, Popovich yells at 40-year-old centers. It's the nature of the sport, the interaction, authority, player, whatever it might be. Now, remember that it's all within context. What we don't see is the backdrop for that moment, the relationship they have established with each other. The reason that people came to Izzo's defense was because of his long history of players, coaching style, and their love for one another, and what he does for those players off the court, his unquestioned commitment to them as individuals as well as a player and a coach dynamic. So because people know that, and they know that his former players adore him, and there is no alleged like Bob Knight incidents where he's physically manhandling people. He's never lost it to the point where he's put his hands on somebody and injured them or anything like that. That's never been said about him, right?
He'd never stand a chance anyway.
Well, but the point would be is he a little hot-headed? Does he scream maybe above and beyond what you would see a younger coach doing in today's era? Perhaps, but it's also understood that I would say, I don't know, what 99.9% of the players that played for him have gone on and spoken on the record about him, love him, adore him, understand the relationship and that dynamic. The player who was getting screamed at didn't seem overly concerned about having been screamed at. But also there was a give and take. His players were yelling back at him, and he allowed for it. They stepped in between and went, hey, man, okay, got it. He's got it. He's got to hustle. Got to hustle. Got it. I know. Listen, I know you're pissed because we got to run it out. It's the tournament. He's got it. And then he calmed down because they allowed for that interaction. Back to my original point, Ariyama was the guy that I was going to go after because he used the opportunity to say that, and basically he alleges that he's speaking out of concern or frustration with a shift in the balance of power between coach and player. If I can call BS at the top of my lungs here, I will go ahead and do that. No, this was more of an opportunity to shine a light on yourself and woe is me self-aggrandizing that he likes to do to begin with so that he can sound smart or whatever it might be that he wants to pontificate about. Quote, we're told all the time by the experts out there that you can't do certain things today the way that you used to do them. So you begin to wonder, well, the way I've done it, and how successful I've been doing it a certain way, I'm being told that's not going to work anymore. And yet I wake up every morning, and it works. So it's not what it used to be, and maybe nothing is, but I still think deep down in my heart, these kids, well, they're not different than they were 40 years ago today, but you also know, Gino, that that's not the issue at hand, and that's not what people are saying when they say you can't do certain things like you used to do them. They're talking about language. They're talking about crossing a line in which you put your hands on somebody. That has changed. You know, it's not, the Junction Boys wouldn't work now, and it's a good thing that they wouldn't. Coaches beating the hell out of players physically, slapping them across the face, pushing them to the ground, that was never okay. It was allowed to have happen back then. Norms were different. Societal agreed upon norms were different when abuse of power was common. It's not anymore. That's good. We're progressing. That's a positive thing, and I think most people agree with that, even if you think millennials are terribly soft, and I do. But that's, it's disingenuous. He knows that's not what the issue is. He just wanted a chance to play the martyr. Oh, it's tough.
Also, humble brag about all the success he had.
Of course.
Because he's a douchebag.
It's playing the role. It's me saying, man, I do things a certain way, and we've been so successful, and now they tell me I just can't do that anymore, and yet I don't know. I mean, I don't think kids are that much. Oh, cry me a river, man. Nobody's coming after you. Nobody. His quote, I fear my players. I think a lot of coaches now fear their players. Get the hell out of here. No, they don't. No, they don't. And you know what? You know who has the power at UConn? He does, above everybody, and he knows that.
Unless he's telling on himself because he's done some stuff in the past.
Well, even then, I mean, look, things are different. You don't do certain things the way you used to do them, and you're only in your 30s. You've changed your way of thinking and adjusting to the way you believe on issues and interactions with people from when you were 16 to you're 33. I mean, that's just normal. We don't go back. That kind of gotcha stuff is silly anyhow. I mean, yeah. But another example of that guy being full of it.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
NFL GM Bill Polian and co-founder Charlie Ebersol were extremely disappointed and say it was their belief that when Dundon took over, we would finish the season. And it was sad how players found out. Many were in the middle of practice when they saw their coaches on the phones with concerned looks. Then their cell phones started buzzing with texts and phone calls. The players made $7,000 a game for the 10-game season, and there is no severance pay. And that is a Bloomberg Business of Sports report. I'm Michael Barr, brought to you by Grainger. For safety and industrial supplies, Grainger's got your back. Visit Grainger.com.
At CDW, we get when there's something going around the office. It's smart to work away from the office. Gesundheit. That's why you should have CDW orchestrate a mobility solution using the Lenovo ThinkPad 480 with Intel 8th Generation Core processor. It'll keep you productive everywhere, even out of the office. Does anyone have hand sanitizer? IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Find out more at cdw.com/Lenovo Client.
I'm not a big talker. I am a big doer. But sometimes the only way to solve the problem is to get on the horn and figure it out. So the only people I like talking to? Grainger. With knowledgeable product experts, ready with the answers to my toughest questions, calling Grainger is the one conversation I don't mind having. From machining and motor parts to valves and vacuum pumps. When it comes to solving my problems, Grainger's got my back. Call, click Grainger.com, or stop by to see for yourself. Grainger. For the ones who get it done.
Hobbit American Grill, voted 2018's home for the best wings in Tallahassee, is celebrating 40 years of serving good food to good friends for good times. March is here, and it is mad. The Hobbit American Grill gives you a chance to win big with Hobbit March Bracketology. There are 2 ways to play for your chance at a $50 gift card. Join the online challenge by visiting Hobbit West Facebook page or play in person during every tournament game. Stop into your local Hobbit American Grill today to play. For locations, hours, and online ordering, head to myhobbitonline.com today.
Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram is the Jeep headquarters of America. We've purchased over 100 Jeep Renegades, and they've all arrived or are on the lot for immediate delivery. 2018 Jeep Renegade Latitude with MSRP starting at $25,120. On sale now for $18,870. That's a savings of $6,250. A new Jeep starting at $18,870. Those prices are unheard of and only can be found at your Jeep headquarters of America, Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. No other dealer can offer you this kind of savings. We buy in mass quantities and pass along the savings to you. 2018 Jeep Renegade Latitude starting at $18,870. Payments as low as $299 a month. Going on right now during Jeep Freedom Days. Only at Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram on the corner of West Tennessee and Capitol Circle, where we're right on the corner and always right on the price. Check us out on the web at TallahasseeDCJ.com. All prices include rebates and incentives plus tax, title, and dealer fee. ST18J605 must finance through Chrysler Capital and qualify for all rebates and incentives.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Hendrick. It's the one race that everyone wins. Find new roads at the first annual Dale Earnhardt Jr. Race to 500. Dale Earnhardt Jr. Chevrolet has to sell 500 cars now through April 30th. So start your engines, hit the gas, and save big. Shop our huge selection of Chevrolet cars, trucks, and SUVs, and get the biggest savings of the year. Join the race that everyone wins. Visit either of our 2 Tallahassee locations or DaleEarnhardtJr.Chevy.com.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Houston Cougars coach Kelvin Sampson gets a 6-year contract extension. ESPN's Sam Kahn reports the new deal is worth $18 million. Sampson has coached the Cougars for the last 5 seasons. Indiana freshman Romeo Langford will declare for the NBA draft. He tells ESPN he'll make it official next week. Langford is about to have surgery on a torn ligament in his thumb that bothered him for most of the season. He still averaged 16 points and 5 rebounds a game. Almost 3 weeks ago, Warriors guard Steph Curry started wearing contacts. In an interview with The Athletic, Curry says the lenses have improved his shooting. Since he started wearing them, he's shooting just under 49% from 3, and he's hit 5 or more threes now in 9 straight games. Curry says he'd gotten used to squinting before making the move to contacts. Basketball Hall of Famer Isaiah Thomas likes the Warriors to win another title.
I think it's a Golden State Invitational, and here's why. I mean, with the addition of Bogut, Bogut is a very underrated pickup.
I mean, he's one of the best screeners, if not the best screeners in the game. He'll always get Clay open. He'll always get Steph open. He's such a great passer. When you look at the rest of the league, I don't know if the rest of the league really believes that they can beat Golden State. I think right now Golden State feels like they own the league.
Isaiah Thomas on Get Up. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports the Raiders cut wideout Seth Roberts today. He had played 5 years with the team. The Michigan Supreme Court denies an appeal from Larry Nassar, who's been sentenced to separate 40-year prison terms for sexually assaulting young gymnasts. The state appeals court is still reviewing an appeal of the other sentence, but Nassar is already serving a long federal sentence for possession of child pornography.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
What are you doing, New York Jets? They're going to unveil new uniforms tonight at 7:30.
So the leak is real. Did you see the leak?
Yeah, those are hideous. Why would you ruin those uniforms? They're awesome. When they went back to the old school with that green and that white with the cool logo, we were done here. We're done. They always got to meddle with things, man. Certainly Florida State fans understand that, and their frustrations have been echoed time and again. But no, man, no.
They got the logo right, though, at least. Florida State.
Yeah, I'm fine with the logo. I just... who was complaining about the Jets uniforms? Nobody. Well, Jeff, it's a money grab. They want, the idea. Who's buying up Jets stuff? Come on.
People all over New Jersey, because that's where they really play.
Well, I mean, for that matter, are you going to change the Raiders uniforms? They've been irrelevant, but no, you're not going to change the Raiders uniforms. They're awesome. They're perfect. Leave them alone. Leave them alone.
Ownership group that's willing to play ball with that kind of stuff, like in Tampa.
Man, we got it so right initially. The red with the pewter, it was just perfect. The Super Bowl year, that's a good-looking uniform. I'll grant you, I remember the creamsicle uniforms and how they were scoffed at, made fun of, mocked routinely. And then nostalgia hit, and people looked back on it and thought, no, those are pretty awesome. They're ridiculous. They're so ridiculous, they're cool. We like them now. And I think that's almost universal. If you wear, I have a lot of the old stuff. If you wear old Bucks gear with the old Bucko Brew stuff and you break out the creamsicle, no matter where you are, people will come up and be like, that's a good-looking hat. That's a good-looking shirt. I like it. So if the Bucks were to revert to that, just leave it.
I think the whole market would celebrate right now. Because, we did our damage in the pewter, and that's fine. If you want to mix it up.
Well, you had to undo the years of suckage. You had to break the curse. You had to go and then come back. You couldn't remain mired in futility. And so they did that. They moved on. And what they chose to do when they did move on was the right thing. They really put together a fantastic-looking uniform, and they won the Super Bowl, and I get it. So you either stay with that, but if you're not going to stay with that, then let's go back old school and let's go creamsicle.
Well, you know
done with it.
The NFL is just throwing away money, and this is they don't need anymore. But when they went to, you can only use one helmet every
Why
year.
Did they do that? They said it was a safety issue.
Yes, they
My
did.
ass. How is that? What are you talking about?
Well, because when we're playing on Sundays and Thursdays, we need to use the same helmet on a short week because it's a safety issue.
Look, I love the Patriots' old logo. I'd go back to that if I were New England instead of whatever that weird devil-y thing is on the side of their helmet. Yeah. I don't mind that either, but I would go with the old school one because it looks awesome.
Paul Revere, the center.
Yeah, it looked awesome, right? I do like that the Chargers did the classic powder blues. They should just stick with that. That's who they are.
The whole thing you got to do at this point is, since the NFL is being stupid about the helmet, is create a helmet in Tampa that you could use for both a pewterish red look and the creamsicle look, so you can mix back and forth as you wish. Because the Chargers do that perfectly. They have, even though I'm not a big fan of using navy and powder blue, like pick a blue already, Tennessee does this as well. They still go back and forth between their awesome 1970s AFC look and the more modern navy with the light blue striping on the sides.
Do you like what the Seahawks did? Or would you go back to their old Jim Zorn era?
No, they needed a new identity. It's kind of like the Bucks when they went to pewter. I mean, that old Jim Zorn era.
Oh, man.
Who was it? The Boz played for them?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. With that weird green and blue. You might as well go with like the crazy look and feel because they were trying to have a rebirth.
Yeah,
but
they did. And then now they'll never go back, and that's fine. But I did like the old ones. But that I am partial to that. The Bucks, man. Oof. When you see, go back and look at Vinny Testaverde. Go back and look at Doug Williams under center with just the offense lined up in those uniforms. That's sweet. You could picture that across from the Bears, and you go, that is right with the world. Now, the Bears better never mess with their uniform. You cannot mess with that uniform in Chicago. I think overall the NFL kind of gets it right. Most of the uniforms are pretty damn good.
Well, what was crazy is, okay, so as Seattle is flipping to their uniform that they had when Nike jumped on.
Also, stop messing with the Dolphins. Go with the old Dolphins helmet with the old Dolphin. You don't need to make a meaner, sleeker Dolphin. Just go with the Dolphins look. It's perfect.
I like everything they've had, though. I like the classic one.
No, the new ones are nice.
The new one's nice, too. Yeah.
It's nice, but you didn't need to mess with the old one. Just leave it.
While they were rolling those out for different markets, less traditional markets, they simplified quietly the Giants and the 49ers and the Cowboys because remember, I mean, this isn't that long ago. You go back to Jerry Rice's day or Deion Sanders' day. For both these teams, there was like that 3D effect that the numbers for San Francisco and Dallas, it just looked awful. And so they just went to the simple stitching of one solid color, one flat color on those three markets' uniforms. And it looks great. I mean, Cleveland's the same way. But in other markets, they decide to get goofy. And I just don't understand how an organization such as the Bucks hasn't been overwhelmed yet with notifications or emails or whatever from fans, even season ticket holders, to say, I don't want alarm clock numbers.
They're awful. And we're the only ones that really wear them anymore.
The only ones?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just thinking
God's green earth. I can't think of one in college because they'll experiment with terrible colleges.
Yeah, they do.
I can't think of a college that has the alarm clock numbers.
So here's what's interesting, right? You know how when you're watching, let's say you're watching a television show, network television, which is kind of rare, right? Maybe it's sporting events pretty much only, that you're watching regular network television. And a commercial comes on, you watch it from start to finish, and you turn to your significant other and you think, somebody got paid a lot of money to come up with that concept. They sat in a room, there were debates, exchange of ideas, this concept won out. And it's absurd. This commercial is absurd. It's just ridiculous. The kinds of commercials now that and I'm always reminded of this because this topic does it to me, because sports does this.
You see the commercial with the dog who's sad, no dogs allowed, and then magically it goes from a city block to a house.
Right.
Like they're trying to get you in the feels.
But it doesn't work.
It's a complete whiff.
Yeah, but it's also when they do the fake scenarios, when they do these scenarios, so comedians going into a phone store to pick up their new phone and the dog is tugging on her leg and she says, whatever.
That's Amy Poehler, yeah.
Do you happen to sell other dogs? Stop that.
She's never been funny.
And it's also not a conversation that anybody has. It doesn't matter. She could be the funniest person on earth, and she's not. But if she was, it wouldn't matter because that's just ridiculous.
She and Will Arnett, that's her guy. That's her hub. They try too hard, both of them. Now, Will's great in Arrested Development, but like Tina Fey, that's her and Amy Poehler are like best buds. Her pen is like 1,000 times more funnier than Amy Poehler. And I think she feels bad. I think Tina Fey feels bad because she's hilarious.
Yes, I know.
But her friend?
But the point is the concept of that somebody in a room said, well, let's have you go in like you're getting a phone and the dog will be tugging on your leg. Who doesn't go, no, we're not doing that. That's ridiculous. It's not funny. It's not going to work. Now, maybe the advertising execs are yelling at me right now going, it did work. You remember it. So if your goal
it's like jingles.
Yeah, if your goal is to just be annoying as all hell, you win. But the uniform discussion to this point, when things are right, leave it. The Raiders are right. The Cowboys are right. You know, you don't need to mess. The Bucks were stop it.
Yeah, remember the Cowboys, they had the vest. They still wear that once in a while, don't they?
It's
sweet. Like the vest look with the white sleeves.
One. That's the old, yeah.
I don't know.
No, it looks good, but I wouldn't do it all the time. Every once in a while.
Yeah.
But it's basically, listen, the blue and gray is sweet. I mean, it's just a nice
It's
look.
a classic combo.
And with the white and the star, it's like, don't mess with the star. Don't mess with anything. What are you doing?
Do you like when they don't do it anymore. I guess it's the helmet discussion. But they used to have the white with the...
they break out the old Colt 45s or whatever they were. Yeah, but I know what you... Yeah.
But the white helmet,
They
they
don't
get
really
that
do
in the
that
mix.
anymore either.
You just gotta... I mean, what are you doing, guys? You could sell way more jerseys if you actually wore these things. Like the... I think it was the Packers. They had those weird ones where it's like the circle and the number was on the side.
Mm-hmm.
Those don't make any sense anymore. They still wear the bottoms with the Green Bay helmet. They don't match.
No.
This doesn't make any sense.
And the Packers are certainly an organization that should not mess with their uniforms, just as Kansas City should not mess with theirs. And we could go on and on and on.
But they will screw with Tampa. They don't care.
Well,
And
at
we
this
say
point,
yes.
just throw paint at it. I don't care.
The coolest thing about that uniform, which I would have been okay with, is I've said this before. So when they sit in the shadows, a 4:00 kick, right? The sun's still out, but the Buccaneer sidelines on the shadows. The numbers kind of glow, and that could still happen without the alarm clock part of the font. But that's pretty neat. Beyond that,
it is and they probably didn't even intend for that. So
it looks more like a hockey uniform though, with the way the shoulders are set up.
It's a hideous uniform. It's one more thing that we hate about our team. They suck and they look stupid doing it.
Well, and they're plainly stupid in the front office. They have no idea what they're doing. Good radio broadcast, though, and we're proud to be a partner.
One thing I will say, though, in fairness, I often hear the Bucs have been a disaster in the draft, and that's just simply not true. They haven't. They've been a collection of big hits and big losses. They either get it really right or really wrong. Doesn't seem to be much in between.
We're Giancarlo Stanton.
Yeah, I mean, it's 550 feet or 3 pitches, have a seat. But it is remarkable. I mean, they either get it really right, they do, or they get it really wrong.
And sometimes, well, there's a couple of players, too. The one we brought in was the defensive lineman from Mississippi State. I think if he's not in this week, he's coming in today or tomorrow.
The sweat kid, the fast kid?
No, there's another one who he tore his ACL about a month ago. And he's still considered to be a top 15 type talent. I love when teams do that. Like you take that guy in the second or the third round.
Yeah, you get him late.
It was like the linebacker Jalen Smith out at Dallas. Great pick. Or when we got Beckwith, although he's hurt again.
He had a good year.
But you get a huge discount basically for the same talent, and it's a surgery that most people recover from at this point.
Most people get through it these days.
Yeah.
almost everybody does. It does
pretty
cost
good at
those
that,
guys
though.
millions of dollars. No, I know.
We're pretty good at buying low. The first round picks, you're right. It's totally Giancarlo style. But we'll buy low on some guys.
Hey, let's take another kicker. Any other uniform?
Any other uniform that's what, basic or terrible?
At least the Steelers don't really mess with theirs. They'll do their throwback thing.
They
the
do
Steelers
like the
are the Steelers.
Yeah,
you
the
can never
prison
mess.
issue uniforms.
Yeah, you can't do. I mean, but if they're just wearing their standard uniform, they don't mess with that. You can't ever mess with that.
No, the Bills I think have the best collection of uniforms. It's too bad that
The freaking Bills
Yeah.
that nobody cares about.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
Get hurt.
Need help moving? Two Men and a Truck Tallahassee provides professional home and business move services, both locally and long distance. For your next move, visit twomen.com or call them at 850-224-2232. Two Men and a Truck, the movers who care.
FSU football is returning.
Touchdown FSU!
But before their drive to build a new winning season, Doak After Dark returns with another amazing concert. Classic hits from the 90s hit the stage again as MC Hammer brings his epic throwback party.
Stop! Hammer time!
Also featuring Tone Loc and Color Me Bad, the biggest hits of a generation. See the concert after the FSU spring game Saturday, April 6th. Hammer's House Party Live. Get your tickets now at Seminoles.com.
Save the dates. Jerry's Famous Cigar Shop has rounded up some big names for the second annual Cigar Festival, April 11th through 13th. Meet Rainier Lorenzo of HVC Cigars, Danny DeFabio of Rodriguez Cigars, and Carson Sereno, owner of Sereno Cigars. Walk away with free cigars, great swag, and memories to last a lifetime. The second annual Cigar Festival is at Jerry's Cigars, April 11th, 12th, and 13th. Find out more at jerryscigarshop.com. Tallahassee's #1 destination for cigars.
Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram is the Jeep headquarters of America. We've purchased over 100 Jeep Renegades, and they've all arrived and are on the lot for immediate delivery. 2018 Jeep Renegade Latitude with MSRP starting at $25,120. On sale now for $18,870. That's a savings of $6,250. A new Jeep starting at $18,870. Those prices are unheard of and only can be found at your Jeep headquarters of America, Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. No other dealer can offer you this kind of savings. We buy in mass quantities and pass along the savings to you. 2018 Jeep Renegade Latitude starting at $18,870. Payments as low as $299 a month. Going on right now during Jeep Freedom Days. Only at Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram on the corner of West Tennessee and Capitol Circle, where we're right on the corner and always right on the price. Check us out on the web at TallahasseeDCJ.com. All prices include rebates and incentives plus tax, title, and dealer fee. ST18J605 must finance through Chrysler Capital and qualify for all rebates and incentives.
And now, a page from the Diary of Flo.
Dear Diary, the ghost is back. This house is protected through Progressive, but that doesn't mean it's not haunted. How else would you explain that radiator-like clanking sound? Or the moon-colored light in the hallway that's gone by morning? Maybe he never bundled home and auto, and he's doomed to suffer an eternity without the savings.
Save an average of 17% on car insurance when you bundle home and auto through Progressive.
What was that wind-like sound? Oh, right, the wind.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Cigars of Tally Lounge and Bar is your cigar place to relax in Tallahassee. With a brand new location at 926 North Monroe, right down from the state capitol, Cigars of Tally Lounge and Bar has a variety of amenities to offer both individuals wanting to come in and relax or a small group that wants to access their conference rooms. Cigars of Tally Lounge and Bar is the premier cigar lounge in Tallahassee. Come celebrate their grand opening April 4th from 6 to 10 p.m. Check out the largest humidor in Tallahassee and the Diamond Crown Lounge at Cigars of Tally, 926 North Monroe, just down the road from the Capitol.
Prescription products require an online physician consultation and are only available if the physician determines a prescription is appropriate. See website for full details.
Hey guys, good news. The expensive Little Blue pill is now generic, which means you can get the prescription medication to treat ED at affordable prices. And now get your first month's supply for just $5 at 4hims.com/Ben. Hims connects you with real doctors online who can prescribe the medication, and a pharmacy sends it right to your door. So easy. To get your first order for just $5, you need to go to 4hims.com/Ben. That's 4hims.com/Ben.
He learned to pitch in your backyard. Now his team's coming over to celebrate their high school championship. So you need to patch those bare spots fast. Pennington One Step Complete has a revolutionary formula that repairs bare spots in only 2 weeks or less. Pennington's been trusted since 1945, and now it works even faster. One Step Complete from Pennington. Honest green. Get your lawn ready for any occasion. Head to your local retailer to pick up One Step Complete.
Tallahassee, it's Chuck Oliver, the king of college football, and you can join me every weekday at 1 p.m. right here on Tallahassee Sports Monster. We talk nothing but college football every day from Tallahassee to Tuscaloosa, Athens to Auburn, and everywhere in between. That's the Chuck Oliver Show, weekdays at 1 p.m. on our new home in Tallahassee, 97.9 ESPN Radio, Tallahassee Sports Monster.
Driving every day from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Houston Cougars coach Kelvin Sampson gets a 6-year contract extension. ESPN's Sam Kahn reports the new deal is worth $18 million. Sampson has coached the Cougars for the last 5 seasons. Indiana freshman Romeo Langford will declare for the NBA draft. He tells ESPN he'll make it official next week. Langford is about to have surgery on a torn ligament in his thumb that bothered him for most of the season. He still averaged 16 points and 5 rebounds a game. Almost 3 weeks ago, Warriors guard Steph Curry started wearing contacts. In an interview with The Athletic, Curry says the lenses have improved his shooting. Since he started wearing them, he's shooting just under 49% from 3, and he's hit 5 or more threes now in 9 straight games. Curry says he'd gotten used to squinting before making the move to contacts. Basketball Hall of Famer Isaiah Thomas likes the Warriors to win another title.
I think it's a Golden State Invitational, and here's why. I mean, with the addition of Bogut, Bogut is a very underrated pickup. He's one of the best screeners, if not the best screeners in the game. He'll always get Klay open. He'll always get Steph open. He's such a great passer. When you look at the rest of the league, I don't know if the rest of the league really believes that they can beat Golden State. I think right now Golden State feels like they own the league.
Isaiah Thomas on Get Up. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports the Raiders cut wideout Seth Roberts today. He had played 5 years with the team. The Michigan Supreme Court denies an appeal from Larry Nassar, who's been sentenced to separate 40-year prison terms for sexually assaulting young gymnasts. The state appeals court is still reviewing an appeal of the other sentence, but Nassar is already serving a long federal sentence for possession of child pornography.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Hour number 2, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Hello. Hey, I don't care about the Joker. Do you like the Joker? Are you pissed off like everybody else is on Twitter about the Joker?
What, the Joaquin Phoenix adaptation?
Is that what it is?
Yeah, so there's a movie coming out in October, and Joaquin is playing the Joker.
Is it called The Joker?
It's not his adaptation because he's not directing, I'm sure. But I thought the movie, I don't know if they could pull it off, but the trailer, I think, looks great because it looks like a tragedy. It looks like a human interest story, and it doesn't have CGI people flying in from space. And the Joker's throwing
we don't need all that flying in from space.
He's not throwing like playing cards that impale people. This looks like a real human interest story about somebody's fall into a dangerous combination of being psycho and violent. Looks good to me.
Okay, I don't know.
A lot of people are pissed off because, it's not as
care about any of those things.
They have an origin story. It's like, man, if this is a good piece of drama that shows you how crazy people get wired, it doesn't have to be the Joker. It just happens to be that's the character, but it's about somebody's fall. Okay, let's take a look at it.
Clearly, it's making a lot of money. All of these things, I just don't. They just make all of these movies with these same characters over and over and over and over again.
But this looks like they're taking a completely gritty angle on it. Kind of like Watchmen, it goes a different way. It looks like this is trying to do its own thing. It's going to be very difficult to pull off, but I'm going into it with an open mind. I don't care. Fine. Tell the story. Let's see what it's like.
I just noticed on my feed, a lot of people like the stuff that listen, it's not my cup of tea. It could be yours. That's fine. I noticed that to a man, they're all like, this trailer's whack. I don't like it. I don't know where that stems from because I don't know the origin stories. I don't care about the Joker. I don't care about superhero movies. I don't care about any of that stuff. I'm not trying to be an elitist. I just don't care.
Well, you like The Dark Knight.
Yeah, I liked it. It was done. Christopher Nolan did a good job. Those first two were good. I don't care about the third one, but those are good.
Why don't you care about the third one?
It's okay. I like that character, but I didn't like the movie. But listen.
You must pay me $15. Then you have my permission to leave the movie theater.
What I'm saying is, they make one of these. There's an Avengers movie. It feels like to me, somebody who's not learned in this realm. There's an Avengers movie every other week that comes out. Robert Downey Jr. has made like $700 million playing Iron Man 15 different times.
He's also 70.
But he's as good as any other Iron Man, I suppose. What? What are we doing here?
Well, they figured out that Saturday morning cartoons were way more valuable than just throwing them on broadcast television for free. Throw them in the movie theaters at $15 a pop for an IMAX.
Over again. God almighty.
Have you seen the trailer for this one, though?
No.
You may like it because
Avengers?
No, the Joker.
Oh, I didn't see this one. There'll be another one next month. I'll catch that one maybe.
It may not be good. Listen, the Suicide Squad trailer was fantastic. The movie, the exact opposite. So, we'll see. But I will go pay for that because the trailer it looks like something that a renowned director would put together to tell
okay, well now I'm gonna watch. At least now you got me watching the trailer.
Well, okay,
I'll watch the trailer during the break because I haven't seen it.
Mutual friend, your dear friend, I've met him a few times, but Steven, right?
Yeah. He
said when I saw him put this on Twitter. He said when I saw that trailer, first thing I thought of was Taxi Driver.
Okay,
all right. Well, it's not bad.
All right, that's a good comparison. All right. If you don't like this one, don't worry. They're gonna make another one.
That is 100% true.
They will make another
one. The new Avengers is out in 3 weeks.
And then how many of those have they made? I don't know.
I think this is the third one that's upcoming, but the Marvel universe.
My God! Every other week,
there's
another one of these damn superhero movies. What are we doing?
There's a graphic on social media of how you should watch them now that they're all out, like what order, and I think it's absurd. It's like probably like 18, 20 movies at this point.
Is Thor still part?
Thor did 3.
Yeah. Why do we have 3?
We had 3 Thors before.
Why? It's Thor. What are we doing?
Because we got to live on Ragnarok,
we
man.
We don't need Thor movies. We don't need
Thor and Loki.
No,
going at it toe to toe.
I don't even know what that means. We are no more apart than when we talk about this. You and I. I mean, literally, we are not further apart in any other walk of life. Even though our age difference is what it is, 15 years. I'm serious when I say sometimes when you start talking about, and not that you nerd out and do it all that often, but if its subject comes up and you're around somebody else who likes it, and you two start talking about it, it's like a foreign language. I have no idea what you're talking. I don't know who these characters are.
Okay, but I'm a super nerd to you, but allow me to put this out there. Of the 3 Thor movies, I've seen just one. And so like the nerdy people will be like, "Oh my God, what's wrong with you?" And I saw Ragnarok. You saw the third one? Why didn't you watch the first 2?
What is that? What do you mean? What is
it was
that?
the third movie. That's just the name.
Okay.
It's like Thor, Ragnarok. It was on Netflix. I didn't go pay and see it.
Was Captain America a popular series?
Yeah. You like the Winter Soldier. You like that movie.
That's
considered by most people to be like, if they don't even like Marvel.
Right.
Winter Soldier. That's not bad.
Well, I stumbled here. We got to move on. But I stumbled into that movie by accident. I never would have gone to the theater to see it. But it was like flipping around the channels on HBO. I was laying in bed. And I couldn't sleep, and I'm just flipping around, and that was on, and it was a sequence where somebody was getting the hell beat out of them. So I was like, oh, well, what is this? And they did. They drew me in. I got locked, and then I was this close to flipping it when I saw it. I was like, oh, it's this nonsense. That's the way I think about these movies. And I was like, that's a well-done scene. I'll watch the next scene. And then they won me over, and I watched it, and I remember thinking, I told you the next day, because I knew you'd be happy. I said, hey, I saw the Captain America thing there. It wasn't all that bad.
Well, I could tell you that of the Marvel movies, not that I'm like, some people, they like to
argue
align
about this stuff,
themselves
don't they?
based on one type of comic.
I mean, people,
the DC
that
versus
world,
the Marvel.
That world it's like the Dungeons and Dragons world. Like they like to argue about the validity of these various movies that are all just whatever.
I just like good movies, and the darker they are, the better, I think.
Yeah, I like Sinister.
I don't know that I've paid for maybe more than one Marvel movie at the theater. I don't go see them like when they come out on Netflix or HBO. Now, this new Avengers movie is over 3 hours in running time, too. Can you believe that?
Jesus, man. 3 hours of
3
the
hours.
Avengers? What are we doing? I mean,
we're hulking up, man.
This is like we're going to see Reds. What are we doing? This is ridiculous. I'm learning about the entire revolution.
I could watch The Godfather at that time.
We can do something here where there's actual... Did the Thing ever make a movie? Has the Thing ever been in a movie?
The Fantastic Four.
He's the rock guy, right?
Yeah, that one flopped. That was they made that one before The Craze. I think they were ahead of their time. Jessica Alba was in that one.
Well, now that may be worth the price of admission right there. But
I think is it also the guy that plays Captain America?
Who's the
Thing?
Thing?
The same actor. No, he was like the cool guy, the good-looking guy in the Fantastic Four. It was like Johnny Blaze, or that might be wrong. The Human Torch.
I hear Matthew back there.
The
Human Torch.
Idiot. The Human Torch was denied a bank loan.
So Flash is now a movie, right?
I don't know that they've made it yet, but it's supposed to be in the lineup.
Wonder
Woman came out.
Flash isn't there a preview for the Flash?
I don't know that there's an active
or
preview.
Maybe it's some other superhero.
The Flash has been in it though, because that's the Justice League. Now that's the Batman side. That's the
I
Batman
like the
Superman
Justice League.
side.
Yeah, I think I'm getting caught up. I really am out to lunch. I don't have any idea. I don't know what it is. I've been curious.
A lot of our demo cares about this stuff.
I know they do, and that's why I'm not completely uncomfortable bringing it up. I literally don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to superhero stuff. But I'm confused by how frequently they come. Yeah. Do they make 100 at a time? Is that what they're doing?
They all
here?
make money. They all make money because you can still get kids. I mean, listen, a lot of the cartoons that we watched on Saturdays were pretty bad, but we watched them, and now kids want to go. And then you also get the nostalgic, 90s kids that are all grown up, quote unquote.
Okay.
Wearing their Superman socks.
You know what I'm glad they don't make a lot of now? And I think the last one was that the Kevin Costner one? They don't make a lot of Superman movies. We don't need Superman movies. They're pointless. It's Superman. You can't do anything with Superman. Yeah. Let's leave it alone. We know how this is going to end. Superman's going to win. You can't do anything to him. Let's just be done with it.
Yeah, they had the Justice League movie, and they've kind of put that thing on hold a little bit. Ben Affleck's not Batman anymore.
Wasn't Ben and Superman when they were fighting? That was absurd. What are we doing?
Batman versus Superman.
What are we doing? What? That's not a fight. Batman would kill Superman inside of 5 seconds.
Well, not unless he has...
Superman would kill Batman. I'm sorry. I said that wrong, I think. Superman would kill Batman inside of 5 seconds.
Batman had kryptonite gas.
Listen,
breathe it in.
This is
Tell me how it feels to be a human.
Oh, stop it. Superman would toy with Batman.
Superman also couldn't kill Batman. He hit,
Why? Because he's moral?
Because Lois Lane got, and his mom was tied up hostage.
So they had to make up some thing
Superman
where that
couldn't
could even
fight
be a possibility,
him. Yes,
right?
They had to, before you go in, it's like, all right, so Batman's got a kryptonite spear and kryptonite gas, and Superman can't kill Batman because...
Oh, so we have to set the... Okay.
He needs his help to save both his girl and his mom.
All right, so... I routinely get mad at Joe West and Angel Hernandez. We got a new umpire to hate. That's next. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Laundry. Wash Around the Clock's easy laundry service will pick up and deliver at your home or office. So sign up for free today at easylaundry.net, or you can give them a call, 850-597-9007. Again, sign up today at easylaundry.net. Oh, and by the way, I got you. Use promo code JCS20 and save 20%. That's promo code JCS20. You're saving 20% on your first order. That's easylaundry.net from Wash Around the Clock.
Napa know-how. This month, get a 5-quart jug of Napa Full Synthetic Motor Oil plus a Napa Platinum Oil Filter for $21.98. That's a pretty unbelievable deal. But trust us, it's totally real, but only for a limited time. So get Napa Full Synthetic and a Napa Platinum Oil Filter for $21.98 today. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
General States pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer ends 4/30/19.
Thursdays are Friday Eve, and that's a reason to celebrate. No matter what you're looking for, they've got you covered every Thursday down in College Town. Centrale offers 50% off select pizzas all day, every Thursday. Or you can stop by Township for Taco Thursday. $2 house tacos, $2. Madison Social offers the Social Agreement. You and a buddy can split 1 Aurora wings, 2 Madso burgers, 2 bourbons, 2 proof Madison Socials, all for just $40. See what they did there? And don't worry about parking. Plenty of spaces available in the parking deck or surrounding lots. Check out all the Thursday College Town deals right now on ThursdaysInCollegetown.com.
Hendrick.
It's the one race that everyone wins. Find new roads at the first annual Dale Earnhardt Jr. Race to 500. Dale Earnhardt Jr. Chevrolet has to sell 500 cars now through April 30th. So start your engines, hit the gas, and save big. Shop our huge selection of Chevrolet cars, trucks, and SUVs, and get the biggest savings of the year. Join the race that everyone wins. Visit either of our 2 Tallahassee locations or DaleEarnhardtJr.Chevy.com.
Let's think about customization presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Liberty Mutual customizes your auto insurance so you only pay for what you need. So why can't more things in life be customizable? Why can't I buy Neapolitan ice cream without strawberry? Can't I just have the chocolate and vanilla flavors I'm comfortable with? Do people even want a fruity ice cream flavor sandwiched right between the classics?
Go to libertymutual.com for a customized quote and you could save.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Equal housing insurer.
Seminole headlines.
Zach writes, what's your favorite guilty pleasure song? Oh, I know what mine is. I thought about it because for years I've been kind of ashamed of this. I like the song I Need to Know by Mark Anthony. The dude
I don't know
that was
that
married to J-Lo.
I know who he is.
Yeah,
I don't know the song.
It was a huge hit.
I need to know that one. Is that how it goes, Ira?
Tell me, pretty baby, I need to know. You know that.
I really don't. I'm not being. I'm
when
not
I
playing.
play, you never know a damn thing.
The time where I feel like probably most vulnerable or dumb is like I'll be driving and like listening to like some music in the car and like, you know, it's a good song and kind of jamming to it. And then another song comes on, you can just sing along. You just start singing along without really even thinking about it.
And you're like, what am I doing?
And then you get to a red light and you look over and realize your window's down and you're.
Oh,
I did that with in college. You remember "Toy Soldiers" by Martika?
I
step
do.
by step,
Yes,
left,
it's a terrible
right,
song.
left.
Yeah, sure.
We all. So I had my car window down, not even
And you were
realizing.
cranking it.
Man, I was singing as loud as I could,
Feeling it.
And I look over and it's a car full of college girls watching me belt by myself. Probably Crystal in my lap. Crystal the
Crystal
the,
meth?
no, Crystal
I was
the
gonna
fast
say, what-
food place,
what kind
not
of Crystal?
Or the girl.
A stripper?
Yeah, no.
Crystal meth?
yeah.
What are we doing
Crystal,
here?
yeah, none of those were in my lap.
Yeah, none of
because I was
those.
in college. It was just the
Well, that's when
bag
they
of-
might have been.
No, not with me.
No, okay.
Yeah, and I look over and they're just all dying laughing because I'm singing "Toy Soldier" by Martika. I would say now I think "Safety Dance." I
Men
love
Without
that
Hats?
song.
I like that song.
Man, that song
That's
just
good.
every
It's
time
not really
you-
a guilty pleasure. It's
Sure
just,
it is.
yeah,
it's
just
a
the
goofy.
80s,
It's a
kinda
goofy
Yeah,
80s
it's
song.
all right. It's all right.
And Ira's whole palette's not the right word, but
It's
I mean,
whole
he's a
collection.
he's a Nickelback
Right,
fan,
so,
so that's
and
all
he
guilty.
can't even say anything. Anything he says is he legitimately likes, even though it's crap.
It's an overstatement.
Yeah,
to say
you
fan.
can't have a guilty pleasure.
No, he just
It's not
likes
possible.
nothing but garbage. So there you go. Jeff, I'm a big fan of Bon Jovi. There's any number of
Well,
songs.
people
he
like
can
Bon Jovi. Yeah,
They like Britney Spears, too, Corey.
Yeah, they do.
Tuesday night from 5 to 7 p.m. on 97.9 ESPN Radio. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Straight from the fire.
Man, what a mess. Hearing an umpire tell a manager in Major League Baseball, I can do anything I want, repeatedly upon being questioned, is probably not a good look that the league would, I would think, want to step in with and say, no, you can't. No, can't. But it is amazing to me what putting on an umpire's uniform does for some guys. Because this is the story of Major League Baseball's umpires from the dawn of time. Power trips, look at me, theatrics, over-the-top pronouncements, threatening body language, stare downs, whip off the mask, inviting a fight instead of looking away, turning your back, letting the player or the manager be the stars of the game, the actual combatants. Umpires love to think and have you think, and certainly the players and managers in the game think, that people are there to see them or that people care greatly about an umpire's ability to govern a game as he sees fit. It's just not true. That's why they talk about introducing robot umpires, because we're about done with umpires. These kinds of things don't help.
Well, if you look at one of the called balls, too, that what got Garrett Cole really angry last night. And it's like
Ron Culp is the umpire, by the way.
Yeah, it's middle, and Culp doesn't raise the hand. That's what started this thing spiraling in a bad way.
Well, and then he stared down A.J. Hinch, who was noting that call was wrong. And then on the next call, he looked over at him as he made his call. And what are we doing? That's an invitation for an argument. And they're instructed not to do that.
Then he also stepped in front of Garrett Cole in between the innings because he exceeded the time that Major League Baseball is allowed to have between innings now to move the game along. So Cole hit his pitch count or whatever, and the umpire, Culp, stands in between the catcher and the pitcher and says, you gotta move on. But he makes a show of it. Rather than just shouting, we're done, we got to go, he decides to do it publicly and show up the pitcher.
Yeah, and Garrett got heated with Culpa as well, and that was related, to behaviors in the strike zone and all that. I mean, you can disagree on a call or two. Hinch argues that wasn't his issue. It was more about being shown up and the overall behavior. When you watch it, it's an ugly look for baseball, and I can't quite do it justice by explaining it here. But when you have umpires challenging, in essence, managers and players, which elicits the response that you would predictably get. So he runs those guys, runs a third base coach, runs a pitcher, runs a manager, continues to show them up. And then when questioned about it, says, I can do anything I want. I can do anything I want.
I could shoot somebody in Times Square, and nothing would happen.
There's
to me.
no way Major League Baseball is going to be thrilled with that. And I remember many moons ago when there was there was going to be an umpire strike. And at the time, I don't know why it was this way, early 2000s, late 90s. It seemed that the number of umpires that were morbidly obese exceeded what you had ever seen at any other era of baseball. I mean, 70% of the umpires were on the cusp of death. They were all fatty, fat, stuff in their face. With
arguing
donuts.
with fat managers.
It was unbelievable. Just fat carried the day. It was everywhere. The fatter you were, the better your chances were of procuring one of those jobs behind the plate. And the fatter they were, the more outlandish their antics and their willingness to confront players for quote unquote showing them up or confronting managers. And when that was about to happen, I still remember at that time the commissioner said, well, they can strike. We have replacement umps ready in the minor leagues. They're umpires. It was glorious. I remember thinking, right, because anybody can do that. I know it takes training. I'm not saying that these guys aren't better at it than if you just took Joe Blow off the street, but don't act like there aren't hundreds of umpires in leagues all over the world, all over the country for that matter. Just bring them in.
As long as they aren't college baseball umpires, I think we're in business.
I always wondered about this, and I actually know a former college baseball umpire, good guy, and he's taken issue with me before with my mocking of college baseball umpires because they are, for the most part, terrible. But I've often wondered, are they mandated in the same way that it's kind of tacitly understood by all umpires in Little League Baseball? If it's anywhere near the plate, let's hurry it along. Nobody wants to see 16 walks. This ain't the pros. These kids, let's get them in. Coaches tell kids in Little League, swing the bat. If it's close, they're going to call it a strike.
I don't know. Are you kidding me?
In college baseball, is that obviously to a lesser extent still employed, this idea that, look, these aren't pros. If you're, especially like a midweek game, you're dealing with some kids that aren't even good enough to start in college, say from a small school or something like that. Hell, our rotation.
We had issued 12 walks last Friday. I would like to see us go for 16. Come on, make it around four runs before we start the game.
We did issue 12 walks last Friday. I keep bringing that up.
It brings people back to the ballpark.
I'm like, man, my God, that's 12 walks.
You know what, hon? I know we were going to Bed Bath & Beyond, but scrap that. We're coming back to the ballpark tomorrow because I want to see if we can get 14 walks. Let's do it.
I can live with the rule being that you can't argue balls and strikes because you'd be inclined to do it. You'd be inclined to do it every batter because there's always a borderline pitch. There's always something quarter of an inch in or off the plate that's tough to tell. they want to put the kibosh on that, and I'm fine with it. And so if an if an umpire runs a manager in the third inning because he's twice already argued balls and strikes, do it. But don't instigate. That's the biggest thing. Angel Hernandez, Joe West, these guys instigate fights with players and coaches, and then they kind of take it a step forward. It's almost like they're inviting violence. So typically, because men are idiots, and because
what are you going to do about it?
Right, because we're filled with testosterone, and this is as old as time, and we got to, like peacocks, we got to show everybody. If you're at a bar, there's a certain behavior, it's understood, and there's certain phrases, things that you could or could not do to, and get away with it or not. Everybody kind of knows what those are. And if you engage in that, there's likely going to be a physical response. There's going to be a fight. Something's going to happen, and most people know it. They know it. They're like, well, if he doesn't get punched, I'll be surprised, right? That kind of a thing. And then there are accidents, and there's whatever else, and then sometimes that can be the gray area. If you turn to me and we're in the middle of a civil discussion or a point of disagreement, and you bow up, you physically stand up out of your chair and widen your shoulders and kind of stand over me, or you wouldn't do this because it's not Roadhouse, but you turn your hat backwards. If we're sitting there talking and you just decide to stand.
Only if we were arm wrestling. Over the top. Here we go.
And then then you're inviting that violence. The same thing applies here with umpires. Why are you whipping off your mask and, speed walking towards the person who's having a disagreement with you and confronting them? I've watched players trying to walk away from the batter's box, questioning the call, saying, I think that was a little up. Umpire doesn't like that you look back at him, whips off his mask instead of just staring straight ahead at the pitcher and saying it was strike three. That's all you got to do. Just stare straight ahead. You're out. Just keep looking straight ahead. They don't want to do it. Machismo. They whip off the mask. They turn and square their shoulders. They fire back. That's not what you're there to do, man. He's the player. You're an umpire. Shut the hell up.
I think they fundamentally disagree with why they're there. They're there to be a part of the game.
I'm not for necessarily, and I've thought about it because I've watched the specials that they've done and how they've shown you it doesn't really, well, they haven't shown it completely, but they've been able to show that it wouldn't have a deleterious effect on the game to have electronic strike zones, right?
I'm all for it.
Okay, you might be okay with electronic strike zones, but you probably wouldn't be okay with not having an umpire behind the plate.
Correct. You need to have one in case the electronics fail. And he's got to be able to interpret things like swings and that kind of stuff and run the game. He's got to run the game with the other umpires.
Right.
I'm not saying take him off the field. I'm saying, you know what? If balls and strikes are electronic, who can argue about anything anymore?
Yeah, no, you could only argue at that point, somebody's safe or out at home. You could argue
that computer is screwing me tonight. I knew it. The computer in Houston hates me.
Well, I was counting down the seconds in my head, and I can't believe it hasn't happened yet because traditionally speaking, if we get into electronic umpires or instant replay, it's a mere matter of 30 seconds before Tom Wayne goes, they do it in tennis, Jeff. If, in fact, they do it in tennis and it's not just made up.
I did think it.
I know you did.
That's restraint.
I know you well. I know you were instantly about to say, well, look how easy they do it in tennis. If, in fact, those are accurate measurements of where the ball
shot
was.
Spot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shot spot's amazing.
It
shot
is.
spot is clearly, if in fact it's 100% accurate, which you continue to question, shot spot is the most efficient use of replay in any sport, and it's not close.
No, I totally agree. I think shot spot is like, teleported back in time from 2060, and we're just ignoring the fact that we have this technology that's well beyond our understanding and not implementing it anywhere else.
Here's where it works perfectly, because how long have we been talking about in the NFL or college football, straight down the line, sensors on the pylons to let you know if a ball crossed the plane or not? Those sensors or something akin to it are what they use to find out where the ball was. It's a heat measurement, right? I mean, I think that's right. I think there's a couple of factors in there, but what are we doing?
It's probably a motion measurement, too, because
it's more
so
than one
bare,
thing.
out there. That'd be my guess.
Well, what are we doing? You can do that.
We got Pro Tracer in golf now.
Which is awesome.
That really helps the broadcast,
I also
doesn't it?
could really watch a Pro Tracer for 16 hours straight. I don't even have to see a round of golf. I can just watch different dudes hit their drive, and then we do the Pro Tracer and or the Konica Minolta swing.
BizHub swing vision.
Oh,
Peter Costas, your thoughts?
How great is it? It's
Yeah.
fantastic. And by the way, Peter Costas has to do it. Nobody else can do it. He does it perfect.
Because he always reads. I think he gets paid on that himself. That's the only way.
No, but he's fantastic.
So diligent.
He's good about it. But also, his analysis is always awesome. It's never condescending. He's never looking down on you, or he's never really overly critical of a swing. He'll say, well, this is a unique setup, and then they go through it.
It's because it could be a future client. He knows because he's a swing teacher. I'll tell you, though, for baseball, in watching a good bit of Quick Pitch, which is that's the best morning show. It's like SportsCenter back in the day.
I watch it, too, yeah.
Quick Pitch is great, man. They just get you in, they get you out. Boom. They line everything up. They have the good interviews, or if there's controversy, they hit the controversy, too. But you could see where baseball is becoming much more TV-friendly now because of StatCast, first of all. I think that's really cool. You know, the exit velocities for home runs, and now since it started in 2015, you have comparisons, and so you could say, wow, this ball was hit harder than any in franchise history, and they had so-and-so. But the cool thing, too, that they're doing now is they're overlaying on the replays or the highlights the pitch movement. So you get to see how much the pitch moves in the strike zone, kind of like when you see the TrackMan or if you're watching MLB.com at bat. But that visual on a television screen, I will bet you in about 10 years that might be the standard thing on there. So people get a greater understanding of they're not just seeing a ball leave a hand and hit a catcher's mitt. They're seeing, oh, my God, that thing is dip diving and going everywhere.
Have you attempted to, and there are those that will tell you that's an illusion, have you attempted to watch a 1970s baseball game, 1960s baseball game, early 1980s baseball game?
I'm fine with that, too, because they just stay with the one shot behind the mound.
Yeah.
I got no problem
I
with
love
that.
the one shot behind the mound. I'm fine with that. I love those broadcasts. They're fun. But you know what you do hear? You hear Hall of Fame former players, managers, legendary coaches and players of the game illustrate how ignorant they are about baseball. It's unbelievable. And it's not their fault. It's not their fault. I mean, obviously every generation, a little smarter than the one previous. Certain information comes to light, better data analysis and equipment with which to use and understand how things work, why they do what they do. Remember that back in the day they couldn't figure out how fast somebody was throwing the baseball. I mean, they couldn't. I mean, then they did ridiculous things. They had basically your radar guns like cops used and they did the thing with Nolan Ryan to try to figure out. He was the first that they did that with, so they didn't even know how fast people were throwing the baseball.
That documentary
is incredible.
Fastball.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
isn't that awesome?
Yes.
So, but here's the thing. So I get it. They didn't have a lot of access to information, but knowing what we know now, with the way the game is picked apart, and why certain methodologies are more effective than others from a pitching standpoint, a hitting standpoint, launch angles. There was no such thing as a launch angle. All that stuff back then. All that stuff now is just kind of common knowledge to even a moderately engaged fan. You know enough to know where to look for certain pieces of information that are going to better reveal what a player is, what a team is, and why. So when you go back and watch those broadcasts, they're winging it. They're just saying whatever they think. They have no idea because they can't be checked. He's not real good on pitches on the outside part of the plate. You know, I've noticed over the years he just struggles with anything on the outside. That may or may not be true. They have no idea. that may or may not be statistically accurate. I guarantee if you go back and then you were able to monitor those pitches and those outcomes, you would see that those guys were just saying things to say things to sound smart.
Exactly, and to say it with conviction.
Yeah, you got to say it with conviction.
Yeah.
And you had, obviously, the cachet of having been a 10-time All-Star at third base or whoever it is that's doing the color.
So today, our favorite Pedro Martinez stopped by MLB Central on MLB Network, that morning show, which is, some is good, some is not. But I think, is it DeRosa? That's
Mark DeRosa, who is good, by the way.
So DeRosa and Pedro are at, one of the telestrators. And they're showing the matchup between Syndergaard and Rendon. And this is to your point about pitch location and history. There's nothing to do with the fact it's a Mets game. I'm watching it because it is. But they show all of the pitches that Syndergaard has thrown Rendon in their career. In their 4 years or 3 years they've been matching up.
Think about how far we've come with that.
Right.
But that's what hitters are armed with and pitchers are armed with when they do the prep.
And then they made it like it looks like a weather graphic, like a temperature zone. So you could see where he throws most of his pitches and where he doesn't, and the percentages and all that kind of stuff.
Like
so
the old Ted Williams box batting average? Yeah.
Exactly. Except they showed that it's pretty much lower half strike zone away was the number one pitch. So that's red, and it works back to blue. But you have all of this data on how somebody's attacked you up to this point. And that's just, it only enhances the chess game that goes back and forth.
Which is why that sport has to do a better job of expressing that and explaining that to younger viewers. who will get into the analytics and use it not as a means of necessarily discerning a player's relative worth to the rest of the league or his team or historically, but rather how it plays on an at-bat to at-bat basis, how it plays game to game. See, that's much more interesting because my fear when baseball went the money ball, quote-unquote, route, right, sabermetrics, whatever you want to call it, right, you remember the scene. It's a famous scene, and I remember being worried about this because I understood and thought about it even before they had the conversation. When Jonah Hill is talking to Brad Pitt, and he says, what, you don't watch the games? And he goes, no, I don't watch the games. He's just looking at numbers. It's like a gambler bets numbers, not teams. So in the NFL, Sharps just bet numbers. They don't care who the two teams are playing. They know the percentages based on the spread, and they don't care who's playing. They don't at all. They go, that's a number to bet, that's a number to bet, that's a number to bet, and they do it. And they'll hedge it or whatever else they'll do, and they don't even need to know who's playing. I thought, are we going to get to a point where we go so far with statistics, what's the point of watching the game? Well, here's where I think it does help, right? Where you can have all of that information armed with it as a viewer or a player, in this case, obviously, but as a viewer, and then see how they counter trends. See what a pitcher does, because he knows that the batter knows that. So if low and away was the way he got you out over the last 120 times he's faced you, does he go ahead and buck that now, or does he stick with it, and does the batter know enough of his own history to adapt?
I think it was 65 official at-bats, and he had 26 hits, so Rendon's done well. But then they also show you the breakdown in percentages of pitches that he likes to use, too. So, yeah, I mean...
It's cool.
You've got to find
That's
the
really
balance
cool.
between overwhelming the viewer, but then also putting bright lights and stuff out there. So if you put a heat map in the corner as this at-bat's going on, there ain't nothing going on the bottom left of a HD screen
That
of a
basically
baseball
comes,
game.
by the way, that basically comes from MLB The Show.
Right.
The game itself has kind of made that. You can play with that on, by the way.
Well, I can remember that a couple of years ago, we were debating about Sunday Night Baseball, and I think it was also an opening day broadcast, throwing the rectangle out there, the strike zone out there.
Yeah.
Because it had been, you could always go to break, and TBS had it, like K-Trax, the strike zone stuff. And they would show you after a replay, or after the pitch was there, and then they'd show the replay, but then it was live. And I remember we had this debate on the air, like, do you like it? I think we both did from the word go.
Yeah, old-timers hate it.
Right.
Like Brent Musburger hates it.
Right. I remember Ghost Pepper actually chimed in that day. It was like, I can't do it. Because remember, I had the two lines that would meet up.
The key is to show you the depth of the pitch as well as the angle. So to me, I need to know, because you could be looking at a lie. You see this all the time, right? You see a pitch that ends up out of the strike zone. If they don't have the duality there, you're not able to see. It possibly did cross the plate at one point on that plane, and it ended up away, but it caught that corner. You need to be able to see that from above.
And in baseball is a sport that a standard television tells the story just fine.
Sure.
Like for hockey, you need the widescreen
it doesn't
effect.
work, right.
Golf, it makes it so much better, too, because you get an idea of depth and what's going on around. It's just a beautiful sport to watch in HD. Baseball would be just fine in the 4x3 versus the 16x9. So there's a lot of screen space that you can play with here. I mean, nobody needs to see the baselines of every park. You can load that up with all kinds of information.
Sure.
And that's probably where it's going to go here in the near future.
Love it.
Me too. That was a nerdy discussion that wasn't about comic books and movies.
No, but we probably lost 3/4 of our audience. That's okay. Hang in there, guys. It is baseball season. It's also the spring game. I got Willie coming on tomorrow. We'll talk football. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Savings, we buy in mass quantities and pass along the savings to you. 2018 Jeep Renegade Latitude starting at $18,870. Payments as low as $299 a month. Going on right now during Jeep Freedom Days. Only at Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram on the corner of West Tennessee and Capitol Circle, where we're right on the corner and always right on the price. Check us out on the web at TallahasseeDCJ.com. All prices include rebates and incentives plus tax, title, and dealer fee. ST18J605 must finance through Chrysler Capital and qualify for all rebates and incentives.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. Kraft Nissan has $5,000 off all Altimas in stock with over 75 to choose from. Plus 0% for 36 months, 2.9% for 60 months, or 3.9% for 72 months. You get both $5,000 off and the special interest rate of your choice. Camry, Accord, Sonata, and Fusion, can't touch that. And at Kraft Nissan, you can lease the 2019 Altima for $339 a month total payment. That's $339 per month with no money down. Your payment includes tax. This is a true sign and drive. Leave your checkbook at home. All you need is your pen, and you drive home in a new 2019 Altima for $339. And we even make your first payment. Don't want to lease? Prices start at just $19,995, and you get 0% interest. It's Nissan's March corporate year-end at Kraft Nissan, and we're all about Altima with $5,000 off all Altimas, and you get 0% interest. You get both. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. Prices include dealer preparation charge, $339 payment for 36 months through NMAC with approved credit.
At Hardee's, we change deals forever. Deals used to be a way to get rid of the unpopular stuff. Well, Hardee's thinks deals should sell the best stuff for $2.49, which is why this Hardy value serves up a juicy charbroiled bacon double cheeseburger, our hot ham and cheese, or hand-breaded chicken in our Southern-style tender sandwich, each for only $2.49. One day, historians will look back on this Hardy value as a turning point for deal variety and quality. Historians like to make a big deal out of big deals. Hardee's, because it tastes better.
Offer available for a limited time after regular breakfast hours at participating Hardee's restaurants. Price and participation may vary. Tax not included.
Yuengling Golden Pilsner, a highly sessionable beer, golden in both name and color. Yuengling Golden Pilsner is the perfect balance of hop and malt character for crisp and smooth thirst-quenching refreshment. Cheer for your garnet and gold with Yuengling Golden Pilsner. Yuengling, brewing good times for 190 years. Must be 21 or older. Please drink responsibly. A message from local beverage distributor Triangle Sales.
Hey, this is Jeff Doxey, representing Premier Fine Homes. I'm proud to announce Premier's newest community, Brookside Village. Brookside has the great schools you want, some larger home sites, and is conveniently located on Ox Bottom Road between Ox Bottom Manor and Moore Pond. Call or text me today at 545-4747 or email me at jeffdoxey1@gmail.com. Remember, before you buy, try me at Brookside.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, TSparkConstruction.com.
It's been many months since Hurricane Michael devastated our area. Many people are still dealing with the damages and finding it hard to get a local contractor to contact them. Are you struggling with getting assistance to fix your damages? Are you feeling like your insurance company is not being fair? If your answer is yes to any of these questions, we can help. My name is Travis, owner of T-Spark Enterprises, and I'm asking you to give us a call today for your free consultation. Let my company guide you through the process to get your home back to normal.
Call 850-766-1340. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, TSparkConstruction.com.
License number CCC 1331204. Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachian Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Hendrick. Find new roads at the first annual Dale Earnhardt Jr. Race to 500. Shop our huge selection and get the biggest savings of the year. Everyone wins. Visit either of our 2 Tallahassee locations or DaleEarnhardtJr.Chevy.com.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
All right, I've joined forces with my friends at TVG here. It's because I like to gamble, and if you like to gamble, then join me. Let's get down with this together. Good times. Here's what you want to do. You want to get signed up as we emerge ahead here to the most exciting time in racing with the Kentucky Derby forthcoming. Sign up with TVG today. If you make your deposit, they'll match it up to $100 within 15 days, and they're going to do more for you right now if you're listening, right? Because if you make that deposit, you'll get an extra $20 free. It's an exclusive offer for my listeners. Go to tvg.com/979 and sign up or download the app. It's a free app. It's a TVG app. You'll find it pretty easily. I know I did. So, Keeneland opening. It's the biggest meet before the Derby. I found that out last week. I didn't know that. I'm not pretending like I did. I learned that. And if you want to get in the action, TVG.com, which is a television station basically, that's where you go and you find out about all the pre-Derby qualifier races. So you know how when you get into a Kentucky Derby pool with your friends, you're just picking names out of a hat. You don't know. You have no idea. You'll go, I'll take Barbello. I want Lady Phyllis. Whatever, right? So everybody gets kind of a horse, and then that's what let's go, Lady Phyllis. But you don't know. And now you do. Now you can crack wise. You know what the hell you're talking about. Lady Phyllis sucks. No chance. You're going to lose this bet.
Lady Phyllis is either in a Charlotte Bronte novel or she's making me sloppy joes.
There you go.
You know?
Thank you, Lady Phyllis. I love your sloppy joes. So you find out the different horses and how they did leading up to the Derby if you want to bet on the Derby. And so the other part about this is because I didn't know a lot about horse racing, really hardly at all, they have live talent on TVG.com, and they help you win races. So at that point, you get an understanding that, hey, this is a good horse for this course. This is a horse that likes it money. This is a horse that does better on longer tracks. So you're educating yourself all the while you can bet on the app. So, and they're giving you money to do it. Download the TVG app today. Go to www.tvg.com/979. That's the exclusive offer. TVG will double your first deposit up to $100 within 15 days. A lot of you out there know more about horse racing than I do, so you're off to a head start. You're handling this. I'm learning, and if you're like me and you don't know anything, you do want to have an educated guess here. You don't want to just be throwing money at the wind. TVG wants you to have that as well. So that's cool. I really think they want you to win because they want you to stay on. And that's a cool thing. And they have plenty of bonus races where if you don't win but you do place, finish second or third, you get your money back. Like, oh, you didn't win, but here's your money back.
Did you place? Did you show?
Yeah, didn't cost you anything.
Here's your money.
TVG app is a free download. Get it now, tvg.com/979 if you're going online, or just get the TVG app for free from the App Store. There you go. That's pretty cool. I lost yesterday, Tom.
You did?
Full disclosure.
No wonder I didn't hear about it.
I lost my first bet. Oh, it's raining at the Gulfstream. I got it up here on the app right now. Got to find me a mutter. This one looks like a good one. Splashing. With one of the best jockeys in terms of dividends at the window, don't count this filly out. Consider this time, if only for the respectable speed figure booked in the last contest. See? Information.
That's Splashy or
Splashy?
Splashy.
Splashy's the name of the horse.
It's one bad mutter.
Oh, you couldn't wait. So, because this is a short segment and we have to get to other sports, will you indulge me in my, I like this. I bring these kinds of things up. Nearly 2,500 years ago, Herodotus described an unusual type of riverboat that he saw along the Nile River while visiting Egypt. Many of the archaeologists that I read, Tom, I like Archaeology Magazine, they doubted the veracity of this claim. They thought that Herodotus was full of it because there was never any evidence of such a ship ever existing. But he gets some posthumous revenge now, buddy. The discovery of that ship has vindicated his account. Details appear in the latest newly published monograph, Ship 17, Eberus from Herlacion. They have found it.
Oh yeah.
They found it. They found it at the bottom of the Nile.
Way to go, Horatio.
Herodotus, father of history as you know him to be, had a 9-volume work in which he described this ship, and this is a true story, Tom. They found the damn ship. Around 450 BC, that's when this ship was made. That's really cool.
You're talking about posthumous revenge.
Mm-hmm.
That's posthumous. That's a long time.
Statues and gold coins, and they found the sunken ruins in an ancient port city. And now there are photos of it. You can go online and find it. It's still there at the bottom. They want to move it, but they can't move it because they're worried it's going to break apart. But how cool is this?
So was it considered to be ahead of its time? Is that what was going on here?
Way ahead of its time. And the descriptions from Herodotus with these different planks, and I don't know how to make a boat, so it's the crescent-shaped
Just
hull.
use Flex Seal.
They had a rudder steer. They had a rudder for steering that passed through a hole in the keel, and that was new at the time, and nobody knew about it. And so the point would be this. They doubted that was true because they found no other boats described that way. So they thought Herodotus was just making it up because he was full of fancy on occasion.
He's trying to sell some books.
Yeah. And now they have found it. And it turns out he is correct. 23 lines in his passage about this boat has helped vindicate his description because it's nearly word for word. And he used the descriptor as ribs. He said there were long internal ribs on the boat. They said, no, there weren't. You're wrong. Doesn't exist. Never did. We've never found boats from that era that had these ribs, these so-called ribs, and now they have.
So the Horatians did it, huh?
Yeah. Yes, they did.
Horaciones.
Shipbuilders cutting planks, arranging them like bricks using long internal ribs called tenons, which would then form a construction not known before in the history of boat making, Tom.
Huh. But has since been used, or is this something that we're learning from and saying, well, this is different?
Many years later, they started finding boats made like this. But at that time, this was hundreds of years before that. So now we restart the clock. It's great. We frequently do this. This is the beauty of these findings. A lot of times they'll say, oh, well, nobody had ever walked this passage, or nobody had ever been to this part of the world, or nobody had ever used whatever, right, before. And then we find something that says, not true, 500 years earlier, this group did it. That's what this is.
It'd be like 200 years from now when they have, chips in footballs, and they say, nobody's ever done anything like this. And they say, rubbish. World War III may have you a little bit cloudy on the facts here, but actually back in the 21st century, early 21st century, in fact, they had shot spot technology, and that was in tennis matches. And so,
no, they didn't, Tom Lang. You are insane. Who could come up with that technology? You talk about forward thinking. I love the idea, but you're just throwing out poppycock.
We found this old footage on a VHS tape.
Look at this.
And here it is. We pop it in this weird device, and look at that. See? Shot spot technology.
Gaudio's team also excavated around 70 other sunken ships dating between the 8th to 2nd century BC. One of these, dubbed Ship 17, is remarkably similar to the exact ship that Herodotus described. That is awesome. Yeah, I love this stuff. If I go back to school, that's what I'm studying. But I don't have the patience because you got to be really patient.
So in both hieroglyphics and Greek, it says Herodotus was here on the...
Wouldn't it be awesome?
On the bulkhead.
He just wrote, suck it.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
For 36 months, 2.9% for 60 months, or 3.9% for 72 months. You get both $5,000 off and the special interest rate of your choice. Camry, Accord, Sonata, and Fusion, can't touch that. And at Kraft Nissan, you can lease the 2019 Altima for $339 a month total payment. That's $339 per month with no money down. Your payment includes tax. This is a true sign and drive. Leave your checkbook at home. All you need is your pen, and you drive home in a new 2019 Altima for $339. And we even make your first payment. Don't want to lease? Prices start at just $19,995 and you get 0% interest. It's Nissan's March corporate year-end at Kraft Nissan, and we're all about Altima. With $5,000 off all Altimas and you get 0% interest. You get both. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. Prices include dealer preparation charge, $339 payment for 36 months through NMAC with approved credit.
Napa know-how.
This month, get a 5-quart jug of Napa Full Synthetic Motor Oil plus a Napa Platinum Oil Filter for $21.98. That's a pretty unbelievable deal. But trust us, it's totally real, but only for a limited time. So get Napa Full Synthetic and a Napa Platinum Oil Filter for $21.98 today. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
General states pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer ends 4/30/19.
Just like football, when it comes to the court of law, you're going to need a solid defense. I'm Michael D. Blank, attorney with the Law Office of Jose Fernandez in Tallahassee. At the Law Office of Jose Fernandez, there is never an upfront fee, and if we don't recover, then you don't pay anything. Our team is dedicated to handling all types of accident, injury, negligence, malpractice, and wrongful death cases. If you're unable to come to us, we can come to you day or night. Call us now, 855-HOSE-305, for your free consultation today. The Law Office of Jose Fernandez. We don't get paid until you do. Offices, Tallahassee, Miami. JRFinjury.com. Go Noles.
Thompson Services of Tallahassee, LLC, has been servicing the Tallahassee area for over 20 years with a variety of services from tire repair, new and used tires, changing of big truck tires, and 24-hour roadside service. Thompson Services of Tallahassee also will detail your car to perfection with wash and wax and a variety of affordable packages to have you riding nice and clean. Thompson Services of Tallahassee is located at 3014 South Adams Street, right across from Planet Fitness. Call for a convenient service appointment at 850-284-5907.
Hobbit American Grill, voted 2018's home for the best wings in Tallahassee, is celebrating 40 years of serving good food to good friends for good times. March is here, and it is mad. The Hobbit American Grill gives you a chance to win big with Hobbit March Bracketology. There are 2 ways to play for your chance at a $50 gift card. Join the online challenge by visiting Hobbit West Facebook page, or play in person during every tournament game. Stop into your local Hobbit American Grill today to play. For locations, hours, and online ordering, head to myhobbitonline.com today.
Prescription products require an online physician consultation and are only available if the physician determines a prescription is appropriate. See website for full details.
Hey guys, good news. The expensive Little Blue pill is now generic, which means you can get the prescription medication to treat ED at affordable prices. And now get your first month's supply for just $5 at 4hims.com/Ben. Hims connects you with real doctors online who can prescribe the medication, and a pharmacy sends it right to your door. So easy. To get your first order for just $5, you need to go to 4hims.com/Ben. That's 4hims.com/Ben.
Hendrick. It's the one race that everyone wins. The first annual Dale Earnhardt Jr. Race to 500. Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC has to sell 500 cars now through April 30th. So start your engines, the gas, and save big. Shop our huge selection of Buick and GMC cars, trucks, and SUVs, and get the biggest savings of the year. Join the race that everyone wins. Visit either of our 2 Tallahassee locations or Dale Earnhardt Jr. BuickGMC.com. We are professional grade.
Let's think about customization presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Liberty Mutual customizes your auto insurance so you only pay for what you need. So why can't more things in life be customizable? Why can't I buy Neapolitan ice cream without strawberry? Can't I just have the chocolate and vanilla flavors I'm comfortable with? Do people even want a fruity ice cream flavor sandwiched right between the classics?
Go to libertymutual.com for a customized quote and you could save.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Equal housing insurer.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Driving every day from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Houston Cougars coach Kelvin Sampson gets a 6-year contract extension. ESPN's Sam Kahn reports the new deal is worth $18 million. Sampson has coached the Cougars for the last 5 seasons. Indiana freshman Romeo Langford will declare for the NBA draft. He tells ESPN he'll make it official next week. Langford is about to have surgery on a torn ligament in his thumb that bothered him for most of the season. He still averaged 16 points and 5 rebounds a game. Almost 3 weeks ago, Warriors guard Steph Curry started wearing contacts. In an interview with The Athletic, Curry says the lenses have improved his shooting. Since he started wearing them, he's shooting just under 49% from 3, and he's hit 5 or more threes now in 9 straight games. Curry says he'd gotten used to squinting before making the move to contacts. Basketball Hall of Famer Isaiah Thomas likes the Warriors to win another title.
I think it's a Golden State Invitational, and here's why. I mean, with the addition of Bogut. I mean, Bogut is a very underrated pickup. I mean, he's one of the best screeners, if not the best screeners in the game. He'll always get Klay open. He'll always get Steph open. He's such a great passer. When you look at the rest of the league, I don't know if the rest of the league really believes that they can beat Golden State. I think right now Golden State feels like they own the league.
Isaiah Thomas on Get Up. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports the Raiders cut wideout Seth Roberts today. He had played 5 years with the team. The Michigan Supreme Court denies an appeal from Larry Nassar, who's been sentenced to separate 40-year prison terms for sexually assaulting young gymnasts. The state appeals court is still reviewing an appeal of the other sentence, but Nassar is already serving a long federal sentence for possession of child pornography.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least for today. Thanks for tuning to it. Hope you are well. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. The show gets posted every day when it ends, and if you've missed it, you think, I got to catch up, got to find out what they're doing. Maybe I'll check out that podcast. All 3 hours go up on the website as well as iTunes. Thanks for your 5-star reviews on iTunes. You can also email us if you like, JCS at 979ESPNradio.com. Find me on Twitter at JCameronShow. WTSM app, good for your mobile devices. Hello, YouTubers. I hope you're doing splendid.
Splendid.
Splendid. And the Periscopers, I hope you too are thriving.
It's a good word.
Splendid? You like that word more than many other words?
Well, you know, if you were at a local watering hole and they said, hey, we didn't realize happy hour special, so it's $1 off. Like, nobody feels
splendid.
Compelled to say, splendid. I think they should do that more. I'm going to do that more.
Okay. I like that. Splendid's fun. It hit me just now. Feel like the right thing to say.
It's one of those words that it sounds like what it means.
I think you're correct about
splendid.
That.
I mean, that's not sad. I'm not sad.
You know, when we did the Bumpus commercial where I talk about Lavash, I think Lavash looks the way that it sounds. That seems like a Lavash to me. Now I could counter that and tell you that there is another side of that Lavash. I think if I had if I ordered Lavash and they walked out and there was a bowl with some sort of red sauce in it, marinara sauce of some kind, and I don't know what the food would be, not necessarily noodles or something like that, but and they said this is the Lavash, I would believe that too.
So something about the red sauce,
I think,
brings it all together.
I think so. Yeah, I see that in my brain when I'm thinking about it. Willie Taggart joins us tomorrow on the program. Florida State football on display Saturday. What's it going to look like? We don't know. And I was on our most recent addition to the lineup here on ESPN Radio, Chuck Oliver's show, which you can listen to every day from 1 to 3 leading into my show. And Chuck asked me that question, did mention the Xavier Peters suspension, did want to know who else might flash for this football team on Saturday afternoon, who might excite the fan base. And I think he was probably saddened to hear me say, I don't know that there's a person that could excite the fan base in the way that you mean, Chuck. I don't know that there's anything that will excite the fan base other than a victory against Boise State. I know we were excited yesterday, not like overly so, but excited about the announcement of a home-and-home with Georgia, and that was brought up too on the show. But I think that fans are really fully invested in a show-and-prove season this year. And because of that, there's just nothing that could come out of practice. But it is nice to hear Willie sort of rejuvenated yesterday, a guy that seems excited for the opportunity to showcase players that he believes are dedicated, locked in, and have worked very hard this spring. And I get that. From a coaching perspective, I get that.
I believe the weather forecast for Saturday is perfectly apropos for where we are right now as a football program. The forecast for Saturday calls for fog all day. And that's exactly what this spring is about. That's what fall camp is about. Until we get to the regular season, Boise State, get on the road, play Virginia, and then get into the groove of this thing, we have no idea what this is going to be. 8 wins, 9 wins, 6 wins, 7 wins, worse? I don't know. Foggy. That's the outlook, and that's what the weather will be for the spring game on Saturday.
I think you're probably right. I think that's fair. I tend to be more optimistic. I maybe this is wishful thinking. I got to believe they've improved quite a bit since we last saw them. It'd be hard not to. You can certainly set up spring games to make that appear to be the case. It doesn't necessarily mean you buy into what you see, but it also does mean you see playmakers making plays. You see a quarterback that throws the deep ball exceptionally well. You give guys chances to shine in this kind of an event, and you also want to see how they react to the lights being on, and which of those newcomers at linebacker or perhaps elsewhere on the football field are we going to be most enamored with after the spring game? I don't know, but I am excited about those kids getting this opportunity because by all accounts, according to the players, and I think according to coaches' quotes, they've worked real hard. They've been invested. This appears to be the real gain of the spring is a refreshed, reinvigorated, refocused locker room. 5-7 will do that. If you're a competitor at all and you don't like to suck, which usually that's kind of goes hand in hand, meaning you're competitive, losing bothers you, then I would think it would ratchet up your focus, your attention to detail, your willingness to sacrifice so that you don't endure another lost campaign. You're not part of a group that is mocked around every turn. So I'd like to hear that, and I'm glad that I have, that they're working hard, that they're attempting to remedy this nightmare of a situation. I hate that it's not an overnight process, but it's not. And when you're obviously steeped in reality and you're pragmatic, then you look for little things. That's what you do. You look for the little signs that it's moving forward. And I guess I'll ask Willie that tomorrow. What is it that we would be able to see in a spring game off of the season we all know and would label as bitterly disappointing from a year ago would be something that we should be looking out for that you could say, go ahead and attach yourself to this and believe in this and look at this as a sign that it's better than it was a year ago.
So I think the offensive line's being split up in this game, right?
Yeah,
so the first team's being – okay. Well, that complicates things. Obviously, the quarterbacks aren't live, or we may not have one come fall, and that's a good thing. But I don't know how to evaluate much of anything in the running game, for example, if you're splitting up first-team offensive line with second-team offensive lines. It's like, all right, so if he gets a chance to get past the line, what does this guy look like in space? I can't really know how somebody deals with a short yardage situation in a 50-50 in the trenches. 3rd and 1, okay. Well, if the play gets blown up, it's very hard for me to evaluate how good Anthony Grant is.
Do you think, Tom, that a better way to go about this process anymore is to have your offensive players play offense, your defensive players play defense, your starters, your second string and your third string are what they are, and we watch an hour-long offense versus defense, 1s versus 1s, 2s versus 2s, 3s versus 3s, mix it up a little bit to situational if you want inside the red zone, start drives at the 50, start drives at the 10. We see a goal line offense, we see a goal line defense, whatever it might be. And by and large, we're live. There are certain things you can't do, obviously. Quarterbacks aren't going to get hit. I got it.
Yeah.
To me, that's much more productive because when you thin the rosters by virtue of splitting up the offense into two,
especially when you have a big time problem on the offensive line.
Right. Yeah. I don't think it serves your purpose really. I'd rather just see that starting group go against that starting defensive line and let's see what do we get a push or not.
I think the idea, obviously, is to continue the basically, you're turning on the lights, right? And competitors, you're trying to simulate that as much as you can with a game. To me, I remember the old spring games before Jimbo came in and made it an actual game. And, I mean, that was like the system you couldn't even keep up with.
No, they
like 8 points for this and 2 points for that.
No, they had really weird rules back then. I go back even further to when Dan Kendra got hurt. I used to go to the spring game where everything was live, including quarterbacks, and it was a game, and they beat the hell out of each other. And it was a lot of fun, but I understand why they went away from that.
Frankly, if it was me, and you can't bring in like an FCS school, I'm not going outside the box like that. You'd have to have, a release days in advance, maybe a week in advance of how you're going to do it. And here's your itinerary
they've
for how
talked about
everything
that,
looks.
though. They've actually talked about that before, where they've thought about bringing in teams.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and
I would love to do that.
Yeah, you could bring in an and that's how they get their budget for the year instead of playing them in a season.
For a spring game,
right. I would think if Power 5, if everybody in the Power 5 adopts, it's like attached to the discussion yesterday. If you go to an 18 playoff, then everybody's going to be more
aggressively. Yeah,
right. But at that point, you could take the FCS teams and schedule them for the spring game and still help them with their budget. And then that way you could play a real football game. But for me, if you were doing this without another team getting on a bus and coming over here, you'd have to a week in advance list out specifically everything on an itinerary about when your goods are playing 1v1s, 2v2s.
So everybody could keep it,
and you'd almost need an MC. Maybe this could be your job, but you'd almost need an MC on the field so that people in the stands understand when everything is happening, more than just a PA announcer, because you have to announce the way the scoring goes. It has to count for something. There has to be something on the line so that players feel the pressure, more than just 20,000 people in the stands.
It's interesting you bring that up. When I talk to coaches, whether it's football, whether it's Trey Jones in golf, whether it's anybody, tennis, you name the coaches, they always say that purposeful practice, scrimmages, you name it, there has to be something on the line, a way of measuring the progress or failure, and in a way that creates a form of intensity for the player who has to then thrive and deal with that sort of thing the same way they do in a game.
Nothing taught me more in the sport of golf, for example, since you brought up Trey, than when my team would, at the end of practice, do some kind of competition on the driving range or on the putting green. That's the stuff I remember. That's the stuff I love.
But there has to be real consequences for losing that, for missing
pride,
that shot.
all that
deal.
stuff. Or when you get to go out in the next round. So you get to choose your order. It's like, all right, these are the 6 that are going, but you get to go in the order based upon what you do in this setting. And so you wanted the honor to go off first or whatever it is, but it ratchets it up. It's got to mean something to the players. Pride already is big when there's a bunch of people in there, but if you have something more on the line, like last year I think it was serving dinner, or like somebody got steaks and somebody got hot dogs or something.
Right. That was a big deal, yeah.
That's fun. That makes it spruces it up a little bit. Hey, we're gamblers, aren't we?
I also love, obviously, when they do it with the kickers, right? If he makes this 50-yard kick, we go home early, or you don't have to run gassers, or you got to run double. You want to talk about putting pressure on a kid.
What was it, the Wake Forest-Memphis game, the bowl game, the one I got killed on with the over? And they hit like 55 points in the second quarter, and all I needed was another 20?
That one's going to stick with you for a while.
Well, I wouldn't give a damn about Wake Forest-Memphis, except for maybe I may have had a potato chip or two on the line.
And I happen to have potato chips on the other side, the side that won.
Right.
Yay!
And that kid got 3 kicks out of it. He made the first 2, and then he missed the third one, the only one that mattered.
He got screwed.
Well, that's why I remember it, man, because there was a little something on the line, and that's what you would have to do part and parcel if you were going to split this up from being a traditional football game.
Hey, before we end the opening segment of the 5, I just like to make mention that it's always fun to watch Miami kids get in trouble. University of course, Mark Walton just gotten in trouble for the 3rd time in like a month.
I was going to say, Eddie's going to pull his money if you just say in general. I like seeing Miami get in trouble.
But one of my favorite parts about the story of him getting in trouble is that the cops pulled him over. He had weed on him and he had a gun on him. The gun was legal, I think, from what I read, the 2 different stories I've read. But he had been in trouble prior, so he decided to just take off, just run. Really, probably never a good idea. Well, they tased his ass, but dude's still strong. He is in the league after all. Largely a special teams player. They tased him, but the things that stick into your legs or your back or wherever they shoot you, the prongs, if you will, they somehow fell out of his muscular frame and he got up and took off. That probably spooked those guys big time. I wouldn't do well with that. That's how people get shot.
Well, that's
how
like
people get shot.
Surratt needed to at Potbellies, allegedly, all those years ago. Remember the Don't Tase Me Bro guy?
Yeah.
From Gainesville?
Yeah, from
Don't
Gainesville.
tase me, bro.
Yeah, they took him down.
That's a long time ago now.
It is a long time ago now. I've never wanted to be tased. I know cops, if you're listening, thank you for your service. I appreciate all that. It's not a job that I would ever want to be involved in. But having said that, I have friends who are. But man, another reminder of why I can't be a cop. You got to know what your limitations are. Like I can't build stuff, so I don't build stuff. I hire people to do that. I couldn't be a cop because too many people would get shot by me. And here's why: because if I tase you and you don't go down, in fact, you flex and the prongs come out, and you're still looking at me with a ferocity now that I've tased, you're getting shot. I mean, I'm not sticking around and waiting here. You're getting shot, dude. I just tased you, and you're still running. Somebody's getting shot.
Clearly, we need to escalate to the next level.
Yes, I'm not waiting for you to come to me. No, but that's why I'm not a cop.
That's why they have restraint, and you don't.
I don't. I'm going home.
By and large.
Yeah, it's the Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Friend?
Get me an El Gordo and a Gordo smash. Those are the reasons you always come back.
You were all in on that singing.
And I dance, too.
No, not necessary.
Watch. All right.
Off the bar, Eddie!
No, watch.
And the tapping?
Oh, up.
Sweet Jesus, Eddie, are you all right?
For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Gordo's, where Eddie will dance on the bar. In baseball. Yay, baseball. In Gordo.
The 7th Hill Tap Room on Appalachia Parkway is Tallahassee's premier location to try out the best craft brews from the state of Florida. With 14 self-service taps activated by cutting-edge technology, you can try as little or as much as you like from their full menu. Happy hours from 4 to 7 every day with the best craft beer deals in town. Enjoy the selection at their bar and pub tables or over a game of darts or shuffleboard. Find your new favorite brew. You can take home a 32-ounce can crowler, too. The 7th Hill Tap Room, Tallahassee's premier spot to enjoy local and Florida craft brews. 2475 Appalachia Parkway, underneath the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
I give to you easy laundry service from my friends at Wash Around the Clock. Oh, buddy, this is a game changer. If you're like me, your life is hectic. Between work, school, your kids' sporting events, and activities, well, it leaves you precious little time to kick back and take a load off. About the last thing you want to do is hours of laundry, but there it sits, staring at you, taunting. No more. That's right. More watching, less washing. Save hours of valuable time when you sign up not doing laundry with easy laundry service from Wash Around the Clock. Whether it's dry cleaning or just plain laundry, Wash Around the Clock's easy laundry service will pick up and deliver at your home or office. So sign up for free today at easylaundry.net, or you can give them a call, 850-597-9007. Again, sign up today at easylaundry.net. Oh, and by the way, I got you. Use promo code JCS20 and save 20%. That's promo code JCS20. You're saving 20% on your first order. That's easylaundry.net from Wash Around the Clock. Thursdays are Friday Eve, and that's a reason to celebrate. No matter what you're looking for, they've got you covered every Thursday down in College Town. Centrale offers 50% off select pizzas all day, every Thursday. Or you can stop by Township for Taco Thursday. $2 house tacos, $2. Madison Social offers the Social Agreement. You and a buddy can split one order of wings, 2 Madso burgers, 2 bourbons, 2 proof Madison Socials, all for just $40. See what they did there? And don't worry about parking. Plenty of spaces available in the parking deck or surrounding lots. Check out all the Thursday College Town deals right now on ThursdaysInCollegetown.com.
Napa know-how.
This month, get a 5-quart jug of Napa Full Synthetic Motor Oil plus a Napa Platinum Oil Filter for $21.98. That's a pretty unbelievable deal. But trust us, it's totally real, but only for a limited time. So get Napa Full Synthetic and a Napa Platinum Oil Filter for $21.98 today. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
General States pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer ends 4/30/19.
Hendrick.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC has to sell 500 cars now through April 30th. Shop our huge selection and get the biggest savings of the year. Everyone wins. Visit Dale Earnhardt Jr. BuickGMC.com. We are professional grade.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
3 weeks from today is the draft, and as is the case annually, we have a draft party. We will have this year's draft party over at Bumpa's Local 349, where I had a delicious lunch this afternoon and where the food is always good and the atmosphere is also not only inviting, but I find it rather invigorating with that crosswind. When they open up the doors there, it's a pleasant time. And we had the draft party there last year, and it went swimmingly. This year figures to do the same. As we get closer to the draft, I find it fascinating. More and more people are starting to, the mocks are coming fast and furious. We got another one from Kuiper and McShay. But that said, people are beginning to doubt the quarterbacks. You wonder when it circles back around, right? Several articles and implications where unnamed sources saying, maybe this isn't the greatest quarterback draft. Maybe it's a little shaky.
Oh, really?
Maybe the value of these quarterbacks beginning to fall in the eyes of many teams. Really?
It's a new development, though.
Yeah.
This was not the case 3 months ago.
Which brings me to my point. They do this now masterfully. ESPN does it. Fox does it. CBS Sports, Sporting News, you name it. Any outlet that has to draw traffic to a website has now created not only a cottage industry with the mocks, but they create the storylines that never existed to begin with. They then, within that storyline, it's like a sitcom or a dramedy, if you will, right? They have little plot points that they know are tried and true, tropes that they use time and again that will always bring you back, which is so-and-so has fallen in love with this polarizing pick, this figure, whether he's polarizing because of off-the-field problems or he doesn't fit the mold for a perfect wide receiver, running back, quarterback, you name it. There's something about him that doesn't jive with conventional wisdom. So you got to find that guy, whoever it's going to be. In this case, it was really easy to find. Kyler Murray would be the shortest potential, if it ever happens, superstar quarterback in the league. So right off the bat, you got a guy who chose baseball, then said no to baseball, now chooses football, with a coach who was kind of controversial in terms of his hiring as well, losing record in college. So now he gets the job in Arizona. Quite naturally, you pair those two up and you get people talking, right? That's what you do. And it may very well play out that way because, by all accounts, he does like Kyler Murray, all right? All right, got it. But when we were strictly talking value, what did you and I say? What did most common sense people say? Well, yeah, the league's changing. It's changing a lot. It no longer excludes you. You can be a viable quarterback in this league if you don't have a quote-unquote traditional pocket passing set of skills. Your statues are no longer the only guys that can succeed at the position. You don't have to be 6'5". You don't have to, be 250, stand tall in the pocket, never move, and get the ball down the field. People aren't stretching the field as much as they used to. A lot of these offenses are east and west. There's a lot of eye candy. Guys who are mobile and can throw on the run are valued more than they used to be, especially if they're able to pick up first downs with their legs and have a little savvy to them. I got you. But in truth, it would be a reach to look at anybody in this class and say that they're can't miss at the position, let alone you take them number one overall. So the lines were written for them, and I just love that what you end up happening is that people always, right before the draft, have to circle back to being a little bit more realistic so that they don't look completely foolish when the draft actually plays out. So you begin with the absurdity. You begin with whatever grandiose statement you want to make about a player that simply isn't true. No executive thinks, no coach evaluation, none of that is consistently across the board accurate. It's a guy. It's an outlier. You run with the outlier and you state it as if it's real. If it's a common agreed upon evaluation by all of the teams that this guy is the guy to beat. He's the number one quarterback. When in fact, it's maybe one lunatic. It's one guy that likes Johnny Manziel. It's one guy that likes Kyler Murray. It's one guy. But rather than say that, they go, oh, well, if they don't take him at 1, he'll certainly go 2 or he'll certainly go 3. No. I think if he doesn't go 1, then what happens at number 6 is very important with the Giants. I don't think they're going to take him. Would they take Haskins? Maybe not. Maybe he falls. Maybe Locke goes. I don't know. But what I would tell you is that it's not shocking to hear all of these people now come forward and say, yeah, much stronger positions elsewhere on the football field in this draft than quarterback, which we said from the beginning.
Yes, this is a defensive. If you love defensive football, or if your franchise has a need on the D-line or linebacker, this is the top 20 for you.
Yes,
oh my
by
God,
far.
Because
you've
options.
You have options, and you have, I think, in many cases, barring injury, which is the caveat you always throw in, surefire, contribute right away linebackers and ends in this draft.
Well, yeah, and exactly. If you're in the top 10, let's say, there's no need to trade up if that's what's at the top of your list. You don't need to move. You could move back, but you don't have to move up to go get a guy because there's a scarce amount of pass rushers in this year's draft. Or linebackers, you've got the 2 principal guys in Devin White and Devin Bush. Interior guys, you like those? Well, they've got tons of those as well.
Of those, too.
I mean, the value stretches out into pick 35, pick
Yeah, the
40.
value is not a quarterback in this draft, but
Right.
yet that's always the talking point, and it's a made-up talking point.
I've always thought it's a very simple fix where you could still get the clicks and be honest about it. Where you say, guys, this is not my big board. I'm not projecting the top 50 according to me. These organizations, at least 10% of them a year, more like 20, 25 at minimum, they have lunatics running the show, or the owner gets involved in the last second.
Falls
and you
in love
see
with the media creation.
draft picks that are absurd. See the storyline about Johnny Manziel and the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, which is our little intro that we play all the time.
Right.
It's Exhibit A.
See the Chicago Bears, and it may work, it may not, but see the Chicago Bears trading up 1 spot to get Mitch Trubisky.
Well, here's one thing that I think is interesting, and it's all these talks about compensatory pick and comp pick implications and all that stuff that we're reading about. That's an interesting storyline, but it wouldn't grab the average reader, I think, to these sites. So that those stories are buried, but they have a real impact on teams, who they release and why, when they don't, what they're going to be able to get back, whether or not they evaluate players that way, and whether or not they stay in good standing.
Like Charlie Campbell has said over the years at WalterFootball.com, in so many words, if you piece together some of his Buccaneers analysis over the years, he'd say basically that, well, this organization is stupid and poorly run, so I think they're going to pick somebody that's not a fit for them. And so that's why I have him slotted here. Like, if you say that, that's actually a legitimate take because a lot of these organizations are poorly run. So you could do that, put that in a mock draft. Maybe you piss off the apple cart a little bit, the NFL or the organization. But even if you insinuate it and don't say it outwardly, that to me still is a legitimate mock draft because you have to account for the stupidity factor in NFL front offices.
And actually, who's making the decision, right? When you are able to see a situation like Jerry Jones, where you'd say, well, Jerry is not only the owner, but the final say with any selection that is made. And we're hearing that he's in love with so-and-so. So I think that's who they're going to take because he's judge, executioner, jury, the whole thing.
Even though, for example, this may not be true about the way they do their draft process, but even though Mike Mayock is the general manager, John Gruden's going to have the say on 2 of the 3 first-round picks. And so for that reason,
maybe a quarterback goes.
John's going to take Kyler freaking Murray with their, you know what I mean? Something like that. You just have to be able to account for the fact that not everybody is so well run in the draft.
I really feel bad for Carr out there. I mean, how absurd is it that you have your GM and head coach taking a picture with a potential draft pick at the position that you play? What do you? Can you imagine the New England Patriots welcoming in for an interview a quarterback that's projected to go in the top 20 picks and having the GM and head coach taking pictures with him in the office with the logo in the background, and you got Tom Brady sitting over there? Like, that ain't going to happen.
No, it's not. And obviously they want to move on. I just don't know how they do it or when they do it, but it'll be in the next couple of years. I mean, they've done like one good thing, maybe a couple of good things. So they got the first-round pick for Amari Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got Antonio for a 3rd and a 5th. So you trade away a guy who, yes, he improved when he got to Dallas, but then you bring in the preeminent player for the past 5 or 7 years, and you end up getting a first-rounder to do all of that. So that's the positive. The negative is draft day is coming. And they have to draft players.
Well, you also got rid of the most dominant Russian in football for no reason at all.
For no reason.
None.
And then had the audacity about 6 weeks later to say, well, it's tough to find those guys.
Yeah. No. They show
Sure
themselves to be incredibly inconsistent, to say the least. But the draft is coming, and we do love it. It is fun. It's also fun to watch the circus. I mean, all I'm pointing out is there are storylines, and there are completely made-up storylines, and there are stories of interest, but they don't hold as much, I think, panache as some others. But because these websites need the clicks, those clickbaity headlines are going to happen. I mean, that's what you're going to get. Team A loves so-and-so, worries that Team B, C, and D also are willing to move up. And when you read it, you go, wait a minute. He's a marginal player. I think there's one or two teams that really love him. Everybody else, from what you can tell, based on their actions, their words, their GM's comments, whether you're talking about when they were in Indianapolis, wherever, is the demand that high, or are there two teams? I don't think there's 10.
So after all that railing, 2 sentences that I think every football fan will chuckle at. Number one, these mock drafts obviously mean nothing. Number two, based upon all the mock drafts, it looks like the Bucs are settling in on probably Devin White here.
Which is the right pick.
Yeah. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm all right with that too. Listen, I'll tell you this. I do find it fascinating. Okay, so do the Cardinals take Bosa, or do they go quarterback? Or do they decide they got the guy a year ago and put him behind a terrible offensive line, had no chance to succeed, 0 run game, deficiencies all over the field, and live to fight another day with Rosen and then figure out what you got and move on? It's not a great draft for quarterbacks. Don't give up on a guy 1 year in.
I think what you should do is shop the pick, because even if you trade down, you could still get Kyler if that's like the thing that you really want to do.
Well, the Niners aren't going to take him. The Jets aren't going to take him. The Raiders could, I guess. The Bucs aren't going to take him. The Giants aren't going to take him. The Jags aren't going to take him. Detroit's not going to take him. Buffalo's not going to take him. Denver's not. So, yes, trade down. Acquire picks. If you're Arizona, you could go outside the top 10 and still get Kyler Murray if you're in love with him. Your one exception, your lone exception, is your theory that the Raiders might take him, and it's not crazy because they're crazy.
Because they have 3 picks. So if you have 3 cracks at it, why not? And I also think Washington would be the dark horse candidate here. I mean, they brought in Keenum. Is that who they got in the offseason? Not exactly the face of the franchise for the next 5 to 7 years.
But they're, 15th? They picked 15th?
I'm just talking about, trading up maybe to come get Kyler.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe. I mean, the Bucs.
I don't think the Dolphins will. If you're coming from a Belichick system, even if you're a defensive guy, I don't think you look at Kyler Murray as somebody you can build around. Washington's nuts. And Oakland's potentially nuts. So I think those two are the teams.
Bucs hosted Ed Oliver. Came into town.
For the 2nd-round pick? I don't. The one thing that, if you look at the mocks,
Montez Sweat,
that mean absolutely nothing. Some guys have a certain defensive end, like a Montez Sweat or an Ed Oliver, and he'll be like 8, and then the other guy will say he's 26. Because there's so much depth, I guess they're getting different answers from different sources around the league. That a lot of these rush ends or hybrid linebacker types, I mean, they could go. If you're an agent for that guy, you might not want to go to the green room, because unless you're Bosa or Quinnen Williams,
that's
I don't know.
It. Yeah, you'll go with them. Bosa's a can't miss, I think, if he's healthy. So if you could get him, that'd be splendid. I think Arizona would do wise to select him number 1 overall, quite frankly. But, oh, by the way, and ribbon on the NFL, but One thing to note here, I find that whole Russell Wilson situation fascinating in Seattle, and especially since his money just kicked in to where it affects their salary cap significantly. And it's a curious thing, the oddity of the timing. For April 15th is like tomorrow. He wants his money paid, but yet, admittedly, I don't think he's going to miss games this year. So how significant is the threat if you're not willing to miss games?
I think what it is just a clear message that he doesn't want to go through the pattern. Did some reading up on this, and apparently Seattle's notorious for taking these things into July,
Well,
August.
They have done it with defensive players they didn't want to pay.
Like night before training camp kind of stuff.
Yes.
And I think he's like, come on, guys. What are we doing here?
He's saying, guys, I'm the franchise. I'm the one constant. People have come and gone. I've been elite this whole time. I am one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Look at the Nick Foles deal, and look what I'm making. Come on, man. Pay me. Let's not go through the rigmarole here. Let's just get straight to. Yeah. I see it, yeah.
And even if it's not April 15th, so what? Maybe get it done by May 15th, so he doesn't have to go through the summer, worrying about X or Y.
Well, he's not what he's doing, too, is saying that I'm not negotiating in season. So if we don't get this done this summer, I'm not talking to you once the season starts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I'm leaving.
good luck with that.
Yeah, so this is sign me to a different deal, even though I've only been under the current deal for 3 years. Sign me to a new deal that's commensurate to the salary that a Foles just got for being nowhere near as productive.
You know what's funny? This is I'm sure this has happened to you a lot over the years. I feel like we were just talking about his last contract yesterday, but it really wasn't. Since we've been on the air for going on 7 years now, I remember when we had this talk about Russell Wilson, what's he worth? Well, it's not about what is he actually worth with the stats he's putting up. What's it worth, to lose him? How much is that going to cost you to go hunting for a new quarterback? And how many years is it going to set you back? So now you just have to go by precedent of other contracts, and there you go. It was the Wilson contract and the Cam Newton contract we were talking about 4 or 5 years ago, that they may not be worth 25 or 27 a year, but you know what?
Do you see where people are going, though, where the league's going? Because I think it's interesting.
More guarantees for quarterbacks.
They're also going to the place where they decide that, you know what? If I've got a middling quarterback, he doesn't have to be elite. If I've got a middling quarterback, I'll spend my money on all the other players. I'm not going to let's say when it comes time in Chicago, think the Bears are going to pay Mitch Trubisky? No way in hell. They're going to pay their defensive players. They're going to pay everybody else, and they're going to try to find a middling quarterback because you can win that way. You're seeing you can win that way.
You can. I don't think the book's written on him or closed on him just yet because he showed some signs last year that he might be worth it. I don't think so. If you had to ask me point blank today, does he get a second contract at a huge number? I don't think so. But there were some signs last year.
Yeah, no, he's not terrible. That's why I used him, because I think he's okay. I don't think he's ever going to be great. He's never going to be elite. He might be good enough.
He's worth trading up a bunch for one pick ahead in the line. And they weren't even going to take him in the first place. I think it was the 49ers that traded with.
It was really weird, wasn't it? God, I keep looking. I'm going to be amazed. I was watching highlights last night. I want to go back to this just for a second. I know people think I hate the kid. I don't hate him at all. I'm 100% clearly on record as saying I don't think Kyler Murray has a chance at hell.
Oh, thank God. I thought you were going MJ Walker talk.
No. I don't think Kyler Murray has a chance at all. Every time I see him, I'm like, you know what? All I hear in the back of my head? He's so little. That's all I do. Oh, he's so little. It's my wife talking about the little kids on Bryce's team that haven't hit their growth spurt yet. Oh, he's so little. Look at him. That's Kyler Murray in the league. Look at him. Good for him.
So he needs to see your face on YouTube, right?
Oh, just
like the Water
furious.
Boys.
Yeah,
and
so mad.
And now he sees like defensive ends, and it's just you. I'm not little. What?
You are so little. You're a pistol. Look at you out here trying so hard. I'm glad you're fast. These big guys will kill you.
Boy, if he's not good, he's going to be the Chris Likes of the NFL for you.
No, I like the kid. He was productive in college. Very good college quarterback.
What's that clean my bitch?
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
New motorcycle in stock, and Deep South Kawasaki will pay the tax. That's correct. Huge discounts on all new ATVs and lots of motorcycles. So don't miss out and let the good times roll. Deep South Kawasaki, located on US 19 South in Thomasville.
Read owner's manuals and all on-product warnings. Kawasaki ATVs with engines of 90 cc's and above are recommended for use by persons 16 years of age and older. Kawasaki also recommends that all ATV riders take a training course.
Hendrick. Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC has to sell 500 cars now through April 30th. Shop our huge selection and get the biggest savings of the year. Everyone wins. Visit Dale Earnhardt Jr. BuickGMC.com. We are professional grade.
The madness is coming to the corner pocket.
They're in trouble. Desperation. Yes!
Choose the place with Tallahassee's best TVs, the Corner Pockets Vegas Wall, 8 50-inch crystal clear flat screens. You won't miss a second of the action. Corner Pockets, your headquarters for the most watched sporting event in America.
For the win! Good! A miracle!
Delicious food, the best drink specials. Connect to their free Wi-Fi and keep up with your bracket. From the opening tip to the cutting of the nets, come see why Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Oh, my goodness!
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Widden Glass has been taking care of business since 1945. When you call Widden Glass, you're dealing with experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best. Like Widden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures that provide style and luxury at an affordable price. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Widden Glass. We'll help you design it and install it. Widden Glass, the first name in glass replacement. Call 222-5781.
This is a hamburger. And this, friends, is a Whataburger. A fresh 100% beef patty so big it can only fit on a 5-inch bun. Oh, there's another. Someone's going for a double. Maybe it'll be topped with melted cheese and, oh my goodness, grilled onions and grilled jalapenos. I'm not sure the speakers can handle any more sizzle. Good thing you can do more than just hear the difference. Good thing there's Whataburger.
Hendrick. It's the one race that everyone wins. The first annual Dale Earnhardt Jr. Race to 500. Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC has to sell 500 cars now through April 30th. So start your engines, hit the gas, and save big. Shop our huge selection of Buick and GMC cars, trucks, and SUVs, and get the biggest savings of the year. Join the race that everyone wins. Visit either of our 2 Tallahassee locations or Dale Earnhardt Jr. BuickGMC.com. We are professional grade.
Chuck Oliver here, and Tallahassee, let's talk college football in the South. Join me every weekday at 1 p.m. right here for wall-to-wall coverage of every big program in the region. Whether it's the ACC or SEC, college football is always on our minds. The conversation happens right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio, Tallahassee Sports Monster.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Houston Cougars coach Kelvin Sampson gets a 6-year contract extension. ESPN's Sam Kahn reports the new deal is worth $18 million. Sampson has coached the Cougars for the last 5 seasons. Indiana freshman Romeo Langford will declare for the NBA draft. He tells ESPN he'll make it official next week. Langford is about to have surgery on a torn ligament in his thumb that bothered him for most of the season. He still averaged 16 points and 5 rebounds a game. Almost 3 weeks ago, Warriors guard Steph Curry started wearing contacts. In an interview with The Athletic, Curry says the lenses have improved his shooting. Since he started wearing them, he's shooting just under 49% from 3, and he's hit 5 or more threes now in 9 straight games. Curry says he'd gotten used to squinting before making the move to contacts. Basketball Hall of Famer Isaiah Thomas likes the Warriors to win another title.
I think it's a Golden State Invitational, and here's why. I mean, with the addition of Bogut, Bogut is a very underrated pickup. He's one of the best screeners, if not the best screeners in the game. He'll always get Clay open. He'll always get Steph open. He's such a great passer. When you look at the rest of the league, I don't know if the rest of the league really believes that they can beat Golden State. I think right now Golden State feels like they own the league.
Isaiah Thomas on Get Up. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports the Raiders cut wideout Seth Roberts today. He had played 5 years with the team. The Michigan Supreme Court denies an appeal from Larry Nassar, who's been sentenced to separate 40-year prison terms for sexually assaulting young gymnasts. The state appeals court is still reviewing an appeal of the other sentence, but Nassar is already serving a long federal sentence for possession of child pornography.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Always pleasant as we wrap it up. Okay. Speak, Jeff. Talking Heads is good for probables, too. We could have used this for probables.
This is pretty good,
This is
yeah.
good probables music.
Am I to implement that today?
I may have you restart it, yeah. It's perfect for it.
Okay.
Plus, I love this song.
All right.
It's a great record.
Well, I got to put it on the probables page.
Okay.
There's also something to do with the frozen sheet, the frozen surface.
For hockey.
Which order are we going in? This is real behind the curtain stuff.
Well, I like that you did it. Let's do it. Let's go ahead. Let's bring that down. Let's welcome into the studio Big Daddy J.
Hey, Big Daddy. Having some Red Russians tonight?
We'll know in about 47 seconds.
Into an open wing. It's picked up by Dowdy. An empty net. He scores.
Hot damn. Big Daddy's done it again. Red Russians all around, Teddy.
All right, Big Daddy.
Yeah. Let's welcome him back in. It's been a while, Big Daddy. We got one we circled here in the office today for you sporting guys and gals and those that like to partake in a Thursday Red Russian. Crank it. St. Louis, Philadelphia, St. Louis minus a goal and a half. Philadelphia, nothing to play for, out of the playoffs. Get you some of that minus a goal and a half for St. Louis. We're giving.
Blues are playing for everything. They can outright win the division. They're a point behind. They could have home ice advantage in the second or the first round against 3-seed Nashville. A ton on the line for St. Louis, and they're at home.
We like it. Red Russians all the way around. Minus a goal and a half tonight against Philadelphia. And now, being the pro that you are, before you queue up probables, we should note that coming up after the program, soccer guys are on. They're always good. Love the soccer guys. That show's good. After it ends, you can stay tuned to Atlanta Braves baseball. That's a good thing. Braves, I think, beat the Cubs last night again. How about the Cubs? Just circling the toilet bowl there.
Yes, they are.
It's a beautiful thing. What a shame. We're right there with them, of course, but
and Cubs and Red Sox having tough times.
Red Sox won last night, though. They bounced back.
Congratulations to the Red Sox on their victory last night.
I wouldn't chide the Red Sox. I think they're going to be all right. Cubs, we'll see. I don't know about the Cubs. They were looking over at their boy last year with a jaundiced eye, too.
Well, I don't know how much you can count on Yu Darvish. Put it that way.
Well, he's on the hill tonight, Tom. A little sneak peek, if you would. Cue it up, good sir.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching, probables?
Yeah, it's nice. I like it. It works well. We don't have much, so I got to let it play a little bit. Jays, Indians. Jays have kind of disappeared. I don't think a lot of people even think about Toronto in any way.
No, they had 11,000 at a game earlier this week.
Ouch.
Mm-hmm.
Ouch. Aaron Sanchez will be pitching for the Blue Jays. The Indians will throw Trevor Bauer. He got off to a good start. Didn't get the win, but had 9 strikeouts, gave up all of 1 run on 1 hit, and struck out those 9, as I mentioned, through 6. It hurt your feelings when you do that. You first start and you get nothing for it. Reds, Pirates, we like to lose in the 8th or 9th inning or later, pretty much. It's what we do. We've got, what do we got today? Tyler Mahal and Jordan Lyles. Cubs, Braves tonight. The game you'll hear right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Yu Darvish going for the Cubs. And then Max Fried going for, is it Fried or Fried?
I think it's Fried.
Yeah, Braves fans would yell at me for this, and I should know, but it's your Braves. It's not my Braves. Rangers, Angels, Edison Volquez, Matt Harvey. Old Matt Harvey was solid against the A's, Tom, in his Halos debut. He gave up 2 runs and 4 hits in 6 innings. Hit 96 miles per hour with his fastball.
It's the perfect market for him because it's a giant market where he can drink his face off in the middle of the night and look at the mirror. And he's still anonymous because it's the Angels, not the Dodgers. It's a good market for Matt.
He's throwing hard again. Relatively, 96 miles per hour.
For him, these days.
He's doing some
I don't
things.
know that 98's ever in the tank anymore for old Matt.
Mariners, White Sox got postponed, and so did Padres, Cardinals, and that is that. That's a look at the limited bunch that find themselves on the bump.
What's better than this?
I will tell you, and I talked about it when opening day happened, and I've thought about it ever since because it happens on a daily basis now to remind me and put a smile on my face. But, our good friend Eddie from Gordo's and I were just talking today as we cut a new commercial about the deck, how glorious the deck is outside there at the Gordo's. Going over there in Pensacola Street, or the new Northside deck is nice too. But the point would be this, weather, any outside venue, good people, good food, all that good stuff. Sitting down in an afternoon on a Saturday or a random Thursday on your way home to pick up food for dinner and knowing that there's a baseball game on, it is just glorious. And I've done this now a couple times since baseball started where I just stopped in somewhere to say hi, maybe do some business, maybe pick up some food, maybe have a beer. Bam! Right there. Oh, look at that. It's Blue Jays Indians. Yeah. I don't care for either team, but I'll watch.
Get one of the bowls at Gordo's, especially the north side one. That's where I've had it a couple times for lunch.
Delicious.
They are delicious. They're not on the menu, so ask for them. And, man, they will whip up exactly what you want, and it's killer, and it's good for you.
Yeah, it is good for you. Tomorrow, a reminder, Willie Taggart is going to be on the program. Confirmed that. Coach Taggart will join us on the Jeff Cameron Show tomorrow in the lead up to the spring game. Coach Taggart really jovial and upbeat right about now. If you saw his interview yesterday on warchant.com or if you've heard his comments lately, he seems a little bit energized by what he's seen out at practice. We can only cross our fingers that will translate on Saturday afternoon, early evening, because, I think they could use all the buzz that they can get because there isn't much right now. And, depending on who you're talking to, and I tell you, it's a polarizing, listen, much of what we talk about on a daily basis in this country these days is polarizing. I get it, and people want to run from that after a while. You get tired of it. Everything turns into an argument. But it's fascinating to me, just in this is our business, when I talk to sources and I talk to people at Florida State University, people behind the scenes, people who are maybe less connected, everybody's got an opinion on where this is going, and it is split. I mean, it is split. I got a lot of guys telling me, man, this ain't good. This is still not going the way you think it needs to go, Jeff, or the way we think it should go to see the improvement necessary for him to get this turned around. And then I'll talk to somebody else whose opinion I also value, and they say, no, it's happening. It's not they're not going to be awesome. They're not going to be dominant, but they can win 8 games. It'll be all right. And I don't know what to believe in, either do you, because we don't get to see practice.
And you know what that means? Click those pens.
Well, I don't know what you're going to learn in the spring game either. That's an event built for fun. I don't know.
The clicking does not end on Saturday. No. It keeps going on into probably October.
Soccer guys up next. Stay tuned. Followed by Braves baseball. Be well, everybody. Good job out of you, Tom. Good job, Matthew. Take care. We'll talk to you tomorrow on Live Asians Friday.